Sunlight slanted in from the classroom window, illuminating the mathematical formulas on the blackboard like a bunch of twisted earthworms. Chen was lying on the desk, his head buzzing. He stayed up late playing games last night, and now his eyelids were as heavy as lead. The classroom was filled with the pungent smell of chalk dust, and the students' whispers were like flies buzzing around. Chen. Get up and answer the question. The sharp voice of the math teacher Lao Wang was like a whip, and the whole class fell silent for an instant. Chen raised his head suddenly, his mind went blank. Formula? What formula? He rubbed his eyes and stammered, X is equal to. Ha ha ha, it's Chen again. This guy is in a daze every day and ranks last in the class in the exam. Li Xiu laughed loudly in the back row, his voice as harsh as nails scraping a blackboard. The students around him laughed loudly, and someone taunted in a low voice, "You are a loser, you still want to chase Lin Yuyan? Dream on." Lin Yuyan was sitting in the front row, turned her head and glared at Chen. A trace of worry flashed in her watery eyes, but she quickly turned away, her cheeks slightly red. Chen's heart sank and he clenched his fists under the table. Why does this happen every time? Obviously he is not an idiot, but he always feels that reality is too boring, like a puddle of stagnant water. He smiled awkwardly, "Teacher, I didn't sleep well last night." Lao Wang pushed up his glasses and snorted coldly, "Did you not sleep well? Then don't come to class. Sit down and copy the formula 10 times. The whole class snickered again, and Li Xiu even deliberately pushed his desk. "Brother, wake up, don't be embarrassed." Chen gritted his teeth and sat down, roaring in his heart, "One day, I will shut up you guys." When the bell rang, Lin Yuyan suddenly came over and patted him on the shoulder. "The familiar girly fragrance comes to my nose, sweet, like summer ice cream. Chen, what's wrong with you lately? You're always distracted. Are you sick?" She pouted her lips and put her hands on her hips arrogantly, but her eyes were full of concern. Chen's heartbeat quickened and he scratched his head in embarrassment. "No, it's okay. I just played too many games." He wanted to say something more, but he only managed a silly smile. Lin Yuyan sighed, "Idiot, take care of yourself. Are you free tonight? Let's go to the library to study together." Her voice was soft, with the intimacy of childhood sweethearts, which made Chen's head heat up, and he nodded like garlic, "Okay, okay. But I was muttering in my heart, self-study? I don't want to continue this boring routine." At night, Chen lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. The phone vibrated, and a message from Lin Yuyan popped up, "Go to bed early, see you tomorrow." He smiled, replied with an emoticon, and then closed his eyes. Fatigue came over me like a tide, and my consciousness gradually became blurred. Suddenly, a strange pulling sensation came over me, like being pulled into a whirlpool by invisible hands. There was darkness before his eyes, a low buzzing in his ears, and the air was filled with the smell of damp earth mixed with the fragrance of flowers. "Is this a dream?" Chen murmured. When he opened his eyes, the room around him was no longer familiar. A channel with flashing blue light is suspended in the void, and at the end is the bright starry sky and the floating castle. The outer walls of the castle are covered with glowing vines, and the sweet aroma of magic dust wafts in the air. He instinctively walked forward, the passage squirming like a living thing, and a warm current rushed into his body. Transformation begins. A mechanical voice sounded in his mind, and Chen felt his bones creaking, his body elongated, and his muscles bulging. A set of silver and black armor covered his whole body, a mask covered half of his face, and golden runes appeared on his arms. The power was like a volcano erupting. He clenched his fist lightly and the air exploded. "Wow, what the hell is this?" Chen's eyes widened and he looked down at himself, feeling ecstatic in his heart. "I have become a Superman." At the end of the passage, he stepped out and saw the magnificent square in front of him. Another world. Crystal pillars stand tall, magic lights pour down like a rainbow, and horns and cheers are heard in the distance. In the center of the square, in front of a golden podium, stood a girl in a white dress, Shen Qingqing. Her long hair is as white as a waterfall, her skin is as crystal clear as jade, and she is surrounded by a soft halo, like a princess stepping out of a painting. The peace document signing ceremony is about to begin, the guards shouted, and the crowd roared. Shen Qingqing smiled and waved, his voice as gentle as the spring breeze. The two worlds finally ushered in peace, and the dream channel will be permanently connected. Chen hid on the edge of the crowd, thinking, what is going on? Game or reality? Suddenly, a cold murderous aura hit his face, and a black shadow fell from the sky. Several hidden arrows shot like poisonous snakes, heading straight for Shen Qingqing. Princess, be careful, the guard screamed and drew his sword to block it, but was knocked away. Blood sprayed out and the smell of rust filled the air. The crowd screamed and dispersed, assassin. The assassin is coming. The passage is unstable, how could there be an intruder? Shen Qingqing turned pale, took a step back, and the light shield shattered. They are here again. These alien assassins want to destroy everything. She explained, her voice trembling, our alien world and your real Earth are only connected by a dream channel. The channel is unstable and will collapse if your identity is exposed, triggering a war between the two worlds. They are dark forces, and they sent spy Li Xiu to sneak into reality and destroy the signature. Hero, can you help? Yi Chen's heart was shocked, Li Xiu. That asshole in class. But now is not the time to think about it. A black shadow emerges, and three monsters rush towards it, a wolf-shaped monster, with claws like sickles, dripping saliva, making a sizzling and corrosive sound, and a fishy stench. It's over, the princess is going to die. The guard slumped down, eyes wide open, and shouted in fear. The crowd screamed in despair, who will save us? The passage is going to be destroyed, peace is gone. Yi Chen took a deep breath and said in his heart, enough suppression, I want to feel good. He took one step forward, the armor buzzed, and golden light erupted. Don't even think about it. With a low roar, he rushed out like lightning, his fist wrapped in wind and thunder, and hit the head of the first monster. Boom! The monster's head exploded, its brains splattered everywhere, and a bloody mist filled the air. The broken body flew 10 meters away, smashing the crystal pillar, and the fragments fell like rain. The second one rushed at him, tearing the air with its claws. Yi Chen dodged sideways and gave a backhand elbow. There was a crisp sound of cracking bones. The monster fell to the ground with a scream, its intestines were dragged out, and hot blood sprayed on his armor, making a sizzling sound. What kind of power is this? Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes widened, her lips parted slightly, and her voice trembled, one blow, kill the shadow wolf instantly. Impossible. The guards were stunned, their eyes bulging, hero. He is the legendary hidden hero. Look at the runes, the golden light is shining, it's like a god descending from the earth. The third monster roared towards him, and Yi Chen laughed, it's a piece of cake. He jumped up, spun around in the air, and kicked like a falling meteorite. The monster's chest was sunken, its internal organs exploded, and the sound was deafening. When it landed, the ground in the square was cracked and dust was flying. The whole place was dead silent, and then thunderous cheers erupted, long live the hero. He saved the princess. The passage is saved. Shen Qingqing rushed forward, holding Yi Chen's arm with both hands, with tears in his eyes, thank you. You are the guardian summoned by the dream, right? Hide your identity and protect the passage from collapse. We need you, the peace document must not be destroyed. Those assassins are led by Li Xiu, he wants to create chaos and make the two worlds war. Yi Chen took off a corner of his mask and showed a confident smile, leave it to me. He roared in his heart. So damn cool. Those who laugh at me, just wait and see. Suddenly, the passageway flashed with light, and he felt pulled, and his figure was sucked back. When I woke up, I was already in bed, sweating profusely. The phone dinged, and Lin Yuyan sent a message. "Yi Chen, did you have any strange dreams tonight? Why did you suddenly stop replying? You've been so weird lately." Yi Chen's heart tightened and he sat up. Under the moonlight outside the window, the image of the dream passage flashed in my mind, shaking unsteadily. At the edge of another world, a familiar figure slowly emerged, Li Xiu. That cold smile actually reappeared in the dream. No. The crisis has just begun. Yi Chen muttered, clenching his fists. Yi Chen rubbed his temples and forced himself to lie back on the bed. The cold smile lingered in his mind like a ghost. Li Xiu, that guy is annoying enough in reality, is he really a spy from two worlds? The blue light image of the passage was still flickering in front of my eyes, trembling slightly, like glass that might break at any time. He took a deep breath, smelled the familiar smell of old books in the room and the salty aroma of last night's instant noodles, and forced himself to close his eyes. "Go to sleep, you'll have to pretend to be a loser tomorrow." He groaned inwardly. Exhaustion finally outweighed his excitement, and he fell into a deep sleep. The sharp beep of the alarm clock was like a piercing sound, and Yi Chen suddenly jumped up. It was already dawn. The sun was dazzling outside the window, and the chirping of birds mixed with the smell of oil smoke from the breakfast stall downstairs filled my nose. He hurriedly washed up, grabbed his school bag and rushed out. His mind was still reminiscing about last night's bloody battle, the feeling of the monster's brain exploding, the sizzling sound of hot blood on the armor. It was so real. On the school playground, students were in small groups, and the sound of basketballs hitting the ground was deafening. Yi Chen lowered his head and walked quickly, but bumped into Lin Yuyan. She was wearing a neat school uniform, her ponytail flicked, and the girl's fresh citrus perfume smelled straight into her nostrils. "Yi Chen. Why didn't you reply last night? Were you asleep?" She glared at him with her hands on her hips, her arrogant little face bulging, but her eyes couldn't hide her worry. Yi Chen scratched his head with a guilty conscience. The dream last night was so exciting that he couldn't even care about his cell phone. I have insomnia. I can't fall asleep tossing and turning. I play too many games and my head is messed up." He forced out an awkward smile and deliberately laughed. "What about you? What sweet dream did you have last night? Did you dream about me?" Lin Yuyan's cheeks turned red, she snorted softly, and pushed him on the shoulder. "Don't be such a talker. Your eyes are red, like a rabbit. Let's go to class, Lao Wang wants to take attendance again." She pulled his sleeve and walked forward, her palms were warm, making Yi Chen's heart skip a beat. Inner monologue, what did this girl notice? We can't let her doubt. If the hero's identity is exposed, the passage will be over. In the classroom, the smell of chalk dust is still pungent. Lao Wang was writing formulas on the blackboard, and his voice was like a crow. "Yi Chen. Did you do your homework last night?" The whole class glanced at him, and Li Xiu laughed sinisterly in the back row. "Teacher, this guy must have stayed up all night playing games last night. Homework? It doesn't exist." The classmates snickered, and someone whispered, "This piece of trash, paired with Lin Yuyan? It's just wishful thinking." Yi Chen clenched his fists under the table, but on the surface he shrugged softly. "Teacher, I had insomnia last night and forgot." Lao Wang snorted coldly, "Forbidden to stand. The whole class is watching, he is a negative example." Yi Chen stood up, his legs and back ached, listening to the ridicule around him like needles. He roared in his heart, "I killed the World of Warcraft in seconds last night, what do you ants know? One day, I will make your eyes wide open." Lin Yuyan secretly handed the note over. "Idiot, hold on. I'll copy it for you after class." Her handwriting was beautiful, with a faint scent of ink. Yi Chen glanced at it, his heart felt warm, but he smiled bitterly. Everyday life is so damn depressing, like a chain. During class, Yi Chen lay on the windowsill and complained about campus trivial matters to Lin Yuyan. You mean that guy Li Xiu? Why are you always targeting me? Just because I'm chasing you? He deliberately teased her. There was wind and grass in the playground outside the window, mixed with the smell of sweat and earth. Lin Yuyan curled her lips and said, "Who knows, maybe you are jealous that you have a childhood sweetheart like me. But you should try harder, don't be the last one." She poked his head arrogantly, but suddenly came closer and frowned. "Why do you have a strange smell? Like blood? Was everything okay last night?" Chen was shocked. Was he hallucinating about the battle last night? Or the smell of sweat? He quickly said, "No way. It must smell like playing ball on the playground. Let's go have lunch." He pulled her away, his heart beating wildly. He couldn't delay it any longer, he had to figure out Li Xiu's matter tonight. Night fell again. Chen lay in bed early, closed his eyes and said silently, "Passage, open." A familiar pulling sensation came over me, my ears buzzed, and the fragrance of wet earth and flowers filled the air. He opened his eyes and was already in the blue light channel. Warmth flowed through his body, his bones crackled, his body was covered with silver and black armor, and golden runes shone. With overwhelming power, he jumped lightly, the void beneath his feet was like a solid body, and the wind of his fist roared. At the end of the passage, the square in another world is brightly lit, the crystal pillars reflect colored light, and the air is rich in the smell of sweet magic dust. But tonight was different. A figure was waiting there, a young man with flowing blue robes, messy hair, and luminous crystals hanging from his waist. Chu Tian. He turned around, his eyes narrowed, and his voice was lazy. "Hey, the new hidden hero? Princess Shen said you were so handsome last night. Come on, I'm Chu Tian, an assistant transformation expert. The passage is unstable and it's too dangerous to work alone. Let's form a team." Chen was stunned, thinking in his mind, who is this guy? It seems careless. But Chu Tian waved his hand, and a layer of mist enveloped Chen's armor, the runes disappeared, and his aura was like a normal person. Hidden art. The identity is exposed, the passage collapses, and the two worlds start a war. Remember, heroes can't be too high profile. Chu Tian blinked and smiled darkly. Intelligence sharing. Li Xiu, the assassin leader, is leading a team to sneak into the vicinity of the passage to destroy the barrier. He has gadgets from the real world and is suspected to be a double agent. Let's sneak into their camp and kill him. Chen's eyes lit up and he clenched his fists. Let's walk. Internal monologue. I finally have a teammate. This daily depression has exploded in another world. The two figures were like ghosts, passing through the floating forest. The leaves are rustling, the night wind is mixed with the roar of wild animals, and the fishy wind blows against your face. The assassin camp is hidden in the canyon, surrounded by black tents, fires are crackling, and the aroma of roasted meat is mixed with blood. Guards patrolled, their claws scraping against the ground harshly, their eyes flashing red. Suppress first and then raise, the trap is ahead. Chu Tian whispered, holding the seal with his hand, and injected blue light into Chen's armor. Suddenly, the ground in front of me squirmed, and poison ivy burst out, like a whip, its spikes dripping green juice, corroding the air with a sizzling sound. The guard smiled ferociously. Intruder. Fall into the trap. Chen's heart tightened. Damn, so sinister. Chu Tian smiled. Look at my assistants. He pointed his finger on the ground, the mist spread, the poison ivy stiffened, Chen felt that his strength doubled, and the golden talisman loomed. Go. Break it with one strike. Chen roared, rushed out like thunder, wrapped his fist in the wind, and hit the root of the vine. Boom! The ground exploded, the vines shattered into green mud, juices splashed everywhere, and the sour smell was pungent. The guard's eyes widened and he trembled. What? Destroy the trap array with one punch? This guy is a monster. Chu Tian stood up and clapped his hands. Handsome. With my auxiliary support, you are invincible. Look at their faces turning green. The guards drew their swords and rushed towards them. 5 or 6 black figures, the light of the sword was like a net, and the cold air was thick. Chen laughed, dodged sideways, and hit with a backhand elbow. His first sternum was shattered. He screamed and fell to the ground. Blood spurted out like a fountain, and the smell of rust filled the air. Weak chicken. He spun around and kicked the second one away, hitting the tent. There was a crisp sound of tearing fabric, and there were screams inside. The third assassin stabbed with his sword. Impossible. How do you break through the hidden fog? Chu Tian smiled sinisterly, because of me, idiot. He threw out the crystal, and blue light exploded. The assassin's vision was blurred and they staggered. Chen took the opportunity to explode, punching in a row, bones cracking and flesh exploding. Every blow was filled with wind and thunder, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. The last guard knelt down, his eyes bulging, and his voice trembling like chaff. Hero, spare your life. Lord Li Xiu has an earth phone. He is a real-life spy. There are his things in the camp. Chen threw himself into the tent, the firelight flickered, and his nose hit the familiar smell of tobacco. On the table, there is an earth cigarette case, next to it is a mobile phone case with the word Li Xiu engraved on it, and there are also campus graffiti with dirty words. It's indeed him. This bastard is mocking me and causing havoc at night. He was furious in his heart and hit the table with his fist, causing sawdust to fly. Chu Tian nodded, we have the evidence. Escape. The passage is unstable, don't stay for long. The two jumped out of the camp, the fire lit up the night sky, and the assassin's scream echoed, the hero has destroyed the camp. Report to Lord Li Xiu. Returning to the passage, Chen felt a slight vibration, and the blue light trembled like a heartbeat. He was sucked back into reality and woke up in bed, sweating profusely. The morning light appeared outside the window, and the phone dinged. Lin Yuyan, Chen, let's go together after school. Study in the library, I'll wait for you. The sweet emoticon made the corners of his mouth curl up. While he was smiling, Chu Tian's voice suddenly sounded in his mind, like a mental message, brother, it's urgent. Li Xiu has locked the hero's position, and he is leading a large team to attack. The vibration in the passage intensifies, come back quickly. Princess Shen is in danger. Chen sat up, veins popping out of his fists, and his firm eyes reflected on the window glass. The crisis escalated, exhilaration and depression intertwined, and the hook in my heart tightened. Li Xiu, you are dead. During the daytime class, Lao Wang called his name again. Chen stood up to answer, his mind racing with information about the other world. Li Xiu laughed sinisterly in the back row, you trash, are you still forced to stand today? His classmates laughed, and Lin Yuyan glanced at him worriedly. But Chen's mouth curled up slightly, and he said in his heart, smile, your eyes will soon widen. During the lunch break, the playground was sweltering with heat and the smell of sweat mixed with the smell of weeds. Lin Yuyan pulled him to the shade of the tree. Chen, you are acting weird today, your eyes are bright, and you seem like a different person. She came closer, her breath was hot on her face, and she poked her chest proudly, tell me. Did you hide anything from me? Chen's heart beat faster, smelling the fragrance of her hair, he smiled awkwardly, no, I just slept well last night. Let's get out of school, and I will never let you go. She nodded with satisfaction, but suddenly frowned, wait, your arm has a scar. Chen lowered his head, and the red mark left by the phantom of the armor ached faintly. He hurriedly pulled up his sleeves, and his heart trembled, the risk of exposure is rising, so be careful. The school bell rang, the crowd was noisy, and there was a constant sound of school bags rubbing together. Lin Yuyan waited for the door and waved, Chen, here. Li Xiu passed by and pushed his shoulder, you loser, are you really with Yuyan? Infatuated. The sarcasm was harsh, and the classmates snickered. Yi Chen held back a silly smile on the outside, but roared in his heart, "Tonight, I will crush your clone in another world." The setting sun lengthened the shadow, the two of them walked side by side, the smell of barbecue on the street filled their nostrils. Lin Yuyan chirped, "Concentrate on your self-study, I will help you with your math." In the crisis of the sweet daily package, Chu Tian's warning echoed in Yi Chen's mind, "Li Xiu has locked the position, the battle is imminent." When night fell, he went home early and lay in bed waiting for the passage. The vibrations intensified, and the blue light was like a pulsing heart. Inner monologue, after being depressed for a day, it's time to explode. Lin Yuyan's concern and Li Xiu's ridicule all turned into fuel. Hero mode, on. When he landed, the night wind roared in the canyon of another world, the leaves of the floating forest rustled in the distance, and the roars of wild beasts vaguely echoed. Chu Tian was waiting there, hunting in blue robes, the crystal on his waist glowing. He squinted and smiled, his voice lazy but reliable, "Brother, we're late. That bastardly Xiu has locked our position, and the team has outflanked us. Princess Shen is suppressing it remotely from the high platform, but the passage is shaking violently, fight quickly." Chu Tian waved his hand, and the mist came in like a tide, wrapping Yi Chen's armor. The golden talisman disappeared completely, and his breath became like a mortal. "My concealment technique has been upgraded, increasing your strength by 30%. Come on, don't let me down." The blue light pulsed like a violent heart, tearing at Yi Chen's consciousness. He felt his body being pulled into a whirlpool by invisible giant hands, his ears buzzed like thousands of bees, and his nose was filled with the sweet smell of moist earth mixed with magic dust. The bones creaked, the silver and black armor instantly covered the body, the golden runes flickered faintly, and the power erupted like a volcano. He roared softly, clenched his fists, and the air was squeezed out with an explosion. The assassins rushed towards him with a ferocious smile, their claws were like a web of knives, tearing the air and hissing. The first wave of 3 people went straight to Yi Chen, grabbing his throat with their sharp claws, and the fishy wind hit his face. Yi Chen's heart sank, damn, this speed. He couldn't dodge in time, and a bloody gash was opened on his shoulder. Hot blood spurted out, the smell of rust filled the air, and the pain felt like fire. "Ha, hero." "Nothing more than that," the assassin taunted, as the second claw arrived. Chu Tian cursed, "Hold on." Blue light was injected, and Yi Chen's wounds healed instantly, and his strength surged. He roared and fought back, and punched out with his fist wrapped in mist and wind, boom. The first assassin's chest was sunken, and his bones shattered as loudly as a firecracker. He flew backwards against the rock wall, stone fragments flew, and his blood splashed on the ground, sizzling and corroding the soil. The assassin's eyes widened, his throat rattled, and he trembled, "Punch, kill me. Monster." The surrounding assassins were stunned and their steps were erratic for a moment. Li Xiu narrowed his eyes and said, "Don't panic, the formation is activated." The green crystal lit up, the ground squirmed, poisonous mist vines burst out, like giant pythons entangled, green juice dripped and corroded the rocks, and the sour smell was pungent. Yi Chen was wrapped around his legs by vines and pulled to the ground. His strength was suppressed by 30%. Despair surged in his heart, "It's over." The passage vibrated even more violently. "If exposed, GG." Chu Tian's figure flashed up, holding the seal with his hand, "Full assist." Fog explosion. The crystal exploded, blue mist like a tornado, poison ivy stiffened and shattered, green mud splashed everywhere, and the stench filled the sky. The assassins coughed and staggered, their eyes stung and shed tears. "The mist can't be seen. Chu Tian, you scheming assistant." Yi Chen broke free, his blood boiling, the silver and black armor runes loomed, golden light flashed, full mode. He jumped up like thunder, fists roaring, but before the first assassin could react, he hit his knee on the abdomen, his internal organs exploded with a muffled sound, he screamed and fell to the ground, his eyes bulging and bloodshot. "Impossible, double the power." The second one drew his sword and slashed. Yi Chen grabbed his wrist and folded it. The sound of bone breaking was crisp. The knife flew out of his hand and clinked to the ground. He elbowed the back of the head. His brains burst and splashed on the ground. A fishy sweet taste hit his nose. The third one retreated and trembled. Back off. This hero is cheating. The golden talismans are fully activated. We are no match. Yi Chen roared in his heart. The ridicule, punishment and Lin Yuyan's doubts that had been suppressed for a day all turned into fucking anger. Let's go, kill them. Before he could finish his words, the fog in the canyon ahead exploded, and black shadows came out like ghosts. Li Xiu's team, a dozen assassins, their claw hooks flashed with cold light, and their eyes were as red as blood beasts. The leader was masked in a black robe, and his voice was cold and familiar. Hidden hero? Do you think the fog can prevent me from locking? Princess Shen's head belongs to me tonight. It was Li Xiu's clone, with a faint smell of earth tobacco on his body, and a strange green crystal device in his hand. It buzzed and vibrated, and the blue light of the channel was distorted. Li Xiu's face turned livid, and his sinister smile turned ferocious. A bunch of trash. He dodged, and the assassin was as quick as a shadow, and the dagger pierced Yi Chen's heart with a cold light. Yi Chen laughed loudly. Li Xiu. You are mocking me as a loser in real life, but I am the same here. Instead of retreating, he advanced forward, fists and palms intertwined. The roar was deafening, and the air waves kicked up the surrounding rubble. Li Xiu took 3 steps back. His arm twitched, and his sleeves tore to reveal the earth watch, its ticking sound piercing in the night wind. How do you know my name? Li Xiu's pupils shrank and his voice trembled for the first time. Chu Tian pounced on him with a dark smile. Opportunity. Brother, grab the fragments. Yi Chen sprinted, his feet thundered, the rocks shattered, he stepped on the device. Click. The green crystal shattered into pieces, the buzzing stopped, and the vibrations in the passage eased. The energy wave exploded, sending 2 assassins flying in the aftermath. There was a crisp sound of bones breaking when they hit a tree. When they climbed up, their eyes widened and their voices shook like sieve chaff. The destruction device is destroyed. Lord Li Xiu, we have lost miserably. Hero, spare your life. Li Xiu took advantage of the chaos and jumped up, and the black shadow melted into the night mist. Before escaping, he said, "This is just the beginning, good-for-nothing high school student." The figure disappeared, leaving behind a wisp of tobacco smell. The battlefield was silent except for the crackling embers of the fire and the smell of blood and scorched earth. Chu Tian patted Yi Chen on the shoulder, his eyes sparkling. Awesome. In full mode. You are amazing. Those assassins' faces turned pale with fright. My assistance is indispensable. Shen Qingqing landed lightly, her white skirt brushed the rustling grass leaves, her cheeks were slightly red, and her eyes were soft as she stared at Yi Chen. Your Excellency hero. No, Yi, your bravery makes my heart move. The peace document is thanks to you. I have the fragments and it is expected to be signed. She gently held Yi Chen's gauntlet, and the warmth came. Yi Chen's heart skipped a beat, and he thought to himself, this princess, why are her eyes so sweet? The hero's glory is so real for the first time, it's so exciting. On the high platform in the distance, Shen Qingqing, in a fluttering white dress, appeared. Her silver hair shone in the moonlight, and her body was protected by a halo. She raised her jade hand, and ice arrows poured down like rain, swishing through the air. The assassins fell to the ground after being struck by arrows, with the sound of frozen blood, and screams echoed in the canyon. Princess support. The hero is invincible. Shen Qingqing, her voice was as gentle as the spring breeze, but filled with admiration. Hidden hero, thank you. Chu Tian's mist allows me to remotely lock on you. Your power is so strong. Her ice arrow accurately avoided Yi Chen and went straight to Li Xiu's feet. The ground was frosty and slippery. Li Xiu slipped, and the green crystal device fell off his hand. Yi Chen held the fragment tightly, feeling the aftertaste of power rushing through his body, and said in his heart, Li Xiu, even the real world will crush you. The blue light in the passage flashed, bringing him back to reality. He waved, retreat. The three figures faded away, and only the assassin was left in the canyon groaning, that hero, the golden talisman is blinded, it's too scary. Suddenly, there was a light knock on the door, and the girl's voice was soft and worried, Yi Chen. It's me, Yuyan. The lights in your house are still on, I stopped by to return the book. Is the door unlocked? Yi Chen was startled, damn, why is she here? He quickly hid the fragments in the drawer, opened the door, and Lin Yuyan slipped in, her ponytail flicking, and the scent of citrus hit her nostrils. She frowned and looked at the dark circles under his eyes. Idiot, you stayed up late again. Your eyes are swollen like pandas. You said you should concentrate on studying after school, but you end up fooling around when you get home. She poked his forehead arrogantly, her fingers were soft, but she suddenly caught a glimpse of the bedside, the crystal fragment from another world that fell last night, shimmering with blue light, reflecting the phantom of the golden talisman. In the real world, Yi Chen suddenly woke up in bed, sweating profusely, his chest heaving, and bloody hallucinations still lingering on his nose. It's late at night outside the window, the moonlight shines in, and the room smells of old books mixed with sweat. The aftermath of the vibration in the passage made the bed tremble slightly, making it even more unstable. He sat up, veins popped out in his fists, and he felt a sense of glory like wine. I am a hero. Lin Yuyan and Li Xiu are all under control. In the early morning of the next day, the campus bells were ringing melodiously, the playground was filled with mist, and the smell of breakfast smoke was tangy. Yi Chen lowered his head and entered the school gate. Lin Yuyan pulled her sleeves and chased after him. Hey! Tell me about that thing last night. In the middle of the fuss, Li Xiu suddenly appeared, leaning against the wall and smiling sinisterly. His eyes were as red as his clone last night. He was spinning the earth phone in his hand, with familiar words, hey, good for nothing, good for nothing. Did you sleep well last night? I heard you had a guest at your house. He licked his lips, the smell of tobacco wafted over, and the classmates snickered, and the air suddenly solidified. Li Xiu's eyes locked, murderous intent looming, a big crisis is about to break out. Lin Yuyan picked it up and her eyes widened. What is this? A game prop? Why does it smell weird, like the blood on your body? Yi Chen, what secrets are you hiding? She came closer, her breath was hot, and her doubtful eyes were like hooks tugging at her heart. Yi Chen swallowed with a guilty conscience. Chu Tian's warning echoed in his mind. Li Xiu escaped and showed up on campus. The mist on the playground is like a veil, the morning sun is shining brightly, and the aroma of fried buns from the breakfast stall is wafting into your nose, mixed with the noisy laughter and curses of the students. Yi Chen's heart was beating wildly. Li Xiu's red eyes were locked on him like an assassin last night, the smell of tobacco faintly drifted away, and the scratches on the mobile phone turning in his hand shone with a familiar cold light in the sun. The students around were whispering, some were whistling, and some were passing by with jingling bicycle bells, and the air instantly froze into ice. Good morning, good for nothing, Li Xiu said with a sinister smile on his lips. His voice was as low as the night wind, and he slowly approached, his soles rustling on the lawn. I heard your house was lively last night. There were girls visiting at night. Hee, high school students are quite good at playing. He glanced at Lin Yuyan. The ponytailed girl was tugging at Yi Chen's sleeves, her face slightly red and angry. Yi Chen's throat tightened, and the bloody battle in the canyon flashed in his mind, with Li Xiu's clone trembling and escaping, and he sneered in his heart, pretend. You have already fallen into my hands in the real world, so you still dare to challenge me on campus. On the surface, he pretended to be stupid, scratching his head and giggling. Li, classmate Li. Transfer student. Oh, morning. I was the only one in my house last night, and I was returning books and so on. Who are you listening to? He deliberately glanced at Lin Yuyan and complained to resolve the embarrassment. Yuyan, you returned the books last night and broke into my room, causing me to be misunderstood as a playboy and an arrogant ghost. Lin Yuyan's cheeks turned red, and the scent of citrus hit her nostrils. She poked his arm with a soft but electric force. Idiot. Who broke into your room? The door was obviously unlocked, so you were hiding something secretly. That blue light crystal, the smell of blood, said, was there a fight? She came closer, her breath was hot on her cheeks, her eyes were like a deer's, and her doubts were mixed with concern. The boys around him were whistling and cheering. Hey, childhood sweethearts show off their affection. Good luck to the good-for-nothing Yi Chen. Li Xiu squinted his eyes, murderous intent cutting through the air like an invisible knife. He hummed, turned around and merged into the crowd. Interesting, we'll see. The aftertaste of the tobacco faded away, and Yi Chen clenched his fist secretly, thinking in his mind, transfer student. Li Xiu, your real identity has been exposed, I am waiting to crush you. In the first class, the classroom bell rang melodiously, the smell of chalk dust filled the air, and the creaky blackboard was filled with formulas. Teacher Lao Wang pushed open the door and walked in with sharp eyes behind his glasses. New transfer student, Li Xiu. Introduce yourself. Li Xiu stood up, his black hair was slightly messy, and his smile was harmless. Hello everyone, I'm from out of town. I like basketball and investigate interesting things. He scanned looking at the whole class, her eyes stayed on Yi Chen for half a second. The students clapped and cheered, and the girls whispered, handsome guy. Much better than that loser Yi Chen. Lin Yuyan frowned and whispered, there's something wrong with this guy's eyes, like he's staring at prey. Yi Chen, do you know him? Yi Chen swallowed with guilt and roared in his heart, do you know? I punched him in the face last night. On the surface, she shrugged and complained, where are you, Yuyan, what are you thinking about? Who would recognize a transfer student like me, a loser? Focus on the class, don't poke me, your soft hands are in the way. Lin Yuyan snorted proudly, but did not ask further questions. The citrus fragrance was light, and the class continued. During club time at noon, the basketball court in the gymnasium was bustling with activity, the ball was bouncing and banging, and the smell of sweat mixed with rubber hit your nostrils. During the club recruitment competition, Yi Chen was forced to join the team by Lin Yuyan. Idiot, help me form a team. Those freshmen on the other side are bullying people and saying that girls are weak. The leader on the opposite side is Li Xiu, and the younger brothers are grinning around the ball. The good-for-nothing Yi Chen is here too. Do you remember the last penalty stand? It's a game that determines the outcome. If you lose, you'll lick our shoes. The students watched and booed, and the girls screamed, Li Xiu is invincible. Yi Chen, get out. Yi Chen felt angry in his heart, licking shoes. I stepped on your green crystal in another world, how dare you be so arrogant in this reality? But he deliberately pretended to be cowardly, lowered his head and rubbed his temples. Oh, I'm bad at sports, Yuyan should be replaced. Lin Yuyan was angry and dragged him on the field. Shut up. Look at the dark circles under your eyes. You stayed up late playing games last night. Wipe your sweat, I'll bring a tissue. The game started, and the opponent was aggressive. Li Xiu passed the ball quickly, and the first ball hit Yi Chen's face. The wind roared, and the audience gasped, you loser. Yi Chen sidestepped like a ghost, the ball passed by his cheek, the hot wind hit his face, and all the ridicule he had suppressed in his heart for a day burst out, useless. I am a hero. On the surface, he pretended to be panicked. Wow, it's dangerous. The opponent increased the pressure with a sinister smile. Li Xiu rushed forward with the ball. The three of them attacked Yi Chen. His footsteps creaked on the floor. He was forced to retreat to the bottom line. Sweat fell from his eyes, his vision was blurred, and despair surged in his heart. The passage was unstable, the risk of exposure was high, and he couldn't open it all the way. The classmates shook their heads. Yi Chen is finished, the club's laughing stock. Lin Yuyan bit her lip, her voice trembling. Yi Chen, come on. Suddenly, Li Xiu faked a layup, and the ball hit Yi Chen's chest, taunting, "Take the move, trash." At that moment, the golden talisman flashed in Yi Chen's eyes, and the afterglow of otherworldly power surged into his body. He did not retreat but advanced, lightly lifted his palm, and the ball bounced out like a living thing, with a perfect arc for a three-pointer. The sound of brushing the net was clear and the arena was silent. The students' eyes widened and their mouths opened in an O shape. 1 versus 4. A three-point shot. Is Yi Chen cheating? Li Xiu's face turned livid and his steps were chaotic. "No way, you loser." He rushed forward wildly, and Yi Chen's figure flashed like a mist. He easily intercepted the ball, turned around lightly, and hit another hook with his back. Bang! The ball fell, beads of sweat splashed, and the audience screamed, "God! Yi Chen is invincible. That speed is like the NBA." The girls screamed in admiration. Lin Yuyan's eyes sparkled, and she rushed to wipe the sweat on his forehead with a tissue. Her fingers were soft and smooth on his cheeks, and her breath was close at hand. "Idiot, you are hiding this skill. The sweat is so hot. Why is your heart beating so fast?" The scent of citrus wrapped in sweat, as sweet as honey, made Yi Chen feel happy. Everyday hero, double crush. At the end of the game, Yi Chen's team won a big victory. Li Xiu's boys knelt down and rubbed their feet, trembling. "Brother Yi, please forgive me. Your steps are so weird, our eyes are dazzled." Li Xiu tossed his sleeves and left the field, with a sinister look in his eyes. "Luck, see you tonight." The students gathered around Yi Chen, clapped their shoulders in admiration. "Hidden master. The club recruits you as a trump card." Lin Yuyan proudly folded her arms, but snickered, "Huh, you've passed. I'll bite you if I hide next time." At night, the lights in the room are dim, the pages of the book are rustling, Yi Chen is lying on the bed, the pulsating blue light of the passage is tearing at the consciousness, the tinnitus is buzzing, and the sweet and greasy smell of earth magic is filling his nose. He landed with a low roar, and the remains of the canyon in the other world still remained, and the smell of blood and scorched earth filled the air. Chu Tian's blue robe appeared, the crystal light flashed, and he smiled darkly. "Brother, are you happy with reality?" After analyzing the fragments, Li Xiu has confirmed it. This green crystal has the alloy composition of the earth. He is definitely a double agent, lurking in the campus to destroy the passage. Chu Tian held the fragments in his hands, blue mist shrouded, and projected the image of Li Xiu's watch and mobile phone. "The smell of tobacco is disguise, and the mark matches the clone last night. Plan, monitor his real actions, and I will mentally send you the location." In the afternoon class, Yi Chen hid the fragments in a low-key manner. The blue light of the crystal fragments was faint. He sealed it with tape, thinking in his heart, Lin Yuyan was very suspicious and had to divert his attention. The school bell rang, the sunset stretched its shadow, and the school gate was bustling with people. Yi Chen sneered inwardly, "Are minor characters coming too?" First, he suppressed it. He deliberately pretended to be weak. When the first claw scratched his arm, blood spurted hot and the pain was like fire. "Fuck, this power." The dwarf beast laughed ferociously. "Hero. Yakuza." Chu Tian surged, "Hold on." The blue light was injected, and the healing power exploded. Yi Chen jumped up with a low roar, and the wind of the fist exploded. The first dwarf beast fell to the ground with blood spurting and trembling eyes. One punch, instant kill. What a monster. The second claw net rushed towards him. Yi Chen grabbed his wrist and folded it, making a snapping sound. He was thrown away and hit a tree. The sound of broken bones echoed. It climbed up and trembled like a sieve. "Back off." The golden talisman flashed, so scary. The third one knelt down and begged for mercy. "Spare your life. We are just spies. Mr. Li Xiu has a big plan." The passage collapsed and the whole school was involved. Yi Chen clenched his fists, covered his body with silver and black armor, and the golden talisman flashed. "Okay." During the day, he transferred students, and his murderous intent is focused on my home. We will deal with the stalker tonight. Chu Tian nodded, my concealment skills are fully activated, and you will be increased by 50%. Fight quickly. Suddenly, the shadow of the tree in the distance shook, and the little stalker sprang out. Li Xiu's men, 3 masked dwarf orcs, with green claws and a fishy smell, roared, "Master orders, kill the hero." Chu Tian pounced on the kidnapped man, his eyes dark and dark, information obtained. Li Xiu is targeting the campus to expand his conspiracy. Chen crushed their communication crystal, the energy wave exploded, and the gravel flew away. The faces of the dwarf orcs were as white as paper. Hero, spare your life. We are blind, we don't dare anymore. After the analysis, the blue light in the passage flashed wildly, and the tension intensified. Chu Tian warned, it's unstable. Escape quickly, a big crisis is brewing for Li Xiu. Chen waved his hand and faded away, feeling proud in his heart, reality in another world, full control. In reality, I woke up suddenly in bed, my clothes were soaked with sweat, and my heartbeat was beating like a drum. Suddenly, there was a light knock on the door, and Lin Yuyan said in a panic, Chen. The door is unlocked. I just saw a blue light coming out of your room, like crystal last night. Open the door. Chen was shocked, is she following? The aftermath of the passage made the bed tremble, and blue light burst through the cracks in the door. The scent of citrus mixed with magic was sweet. She pushed the door open and stared at the edge of the vortex with wide eyes. This, dream? Chen, you fell in. Wait, I feel, being sucked. The girl's figure was half submerged in the blue light, and her screams echoed. A crisis broke out on the edge of the dream. Chen's heart felt like it was falling into an ice cave, his hair stood on end, and he roared in his heart, it's over. The aftermath of the passage was already violent. She hid the gun during her night visit, and I was completely exposed as a hero. He rushed forward and grabbed her waist tightly. The girl's body was soft and slippery, her heartbeat was beating like a deer under her t-shirt, and hot breath hit her cheeks. Hold on, Yuyan. Don't let go. But the pulling force was like a 10,000 catty iron hook, and the buzzing intensified. His step slipped, the soles of his shoes scraped against the floor, the bed trembled like an earthquake, and the blue mist spurted out and heated his face. Damn, this instability is getting worse. If I can't hold on, she will be sucked into a different world and completely destroyed. The blue light swirled like a wild python opening its mouth, the buzzing tinnitus tore through the night sky, the air in the room twisted into a whirlpool, the pages of the book flew and rustled, and the scent of citrus and the sweet earthy smell of magic entangled into a suffocating fog. Lin Yuyan was halfway submerged, her ponytail swung wildly, and her scream was as sharp as broken glass. Chen. Help me, it's so cold, what the hell is this? Her fingers clung to the door frame, her nails scraped, veins popped out on her fair arms, her face was pale and twisted, her eyes were wide and full of panic, and tears rolled down her face. Lin Yuyan's voice was trembling and crying, and her nose was wet with citrus scent and sweat. Idiot, you are usually a good-for-nothing, but now you are holding back. I feel like, something is scratching my legs, so disgusting. Her legs were completely submerged, her skirt was rolled up to reveal her white and tender calves, the blue light shone eerily, the surrounding curtains were dancing wildly, the night wind was howling in, and the chill was biting. Chen's heart was filled with despair, and Li Xiu's sinister smile and dwarf orc intelligence flashed through his mind. The tunnel collapsed, and the whole school was involved. We can't let her in. Inner struggle, the risk of exposure is huge, but saving people comes first. Suddenly, the afterglow of the golden talisman surged from the body, and the phantom of the silver and black armor flashed. He growled and gritted his teeth, using all his strength to activate the concealment technique. The golden light in his palms wrapped around her waist like a chain. Come back. Pulling and buzzing against the roar of the golden talisman, the light bulb in the room burst, and the fragments flew and scratched her face. Hot, Lin Yuyan screamed. Ah, hot. Your hands are glowing. The vortex shrank, and she popped out and fell into Yi Chen's arms. The two of them rolled to the ground with a thud. The girl's breasts were soft and pressed, her breathing was rapid and hot sprayed into her neck, and the scent of citrus sweat was as rich as honey. The blue light suddenly went out, and the room was silent, leaving only the echo of breathing. Lin Yuyan pushed him away, climbed up and rubbed her legs. Her eyes were as wide as copper bells, and her voice was as trembling as sieve chaff. What was that just now? The whirlpool of blue light, like pulling me in a dream. Your palms are shining with gold, you are like a god. Yi Chen, are you not a loser? She whispered. Poke him close to the chest, the force is soft and electric, the fingertips are trembling, the blush on the face has not faded, the eyes are confused and fearful, dark circles, basketball skills, crystal blue light. What secrets are you hiding? Honestly, otherwise I will bite you. Yi Chen swallowed with a guilty conscience, sweating in his heart. She saved the beauty from the side, her eyes were straight, but when she questioned the top, she had to be fooled. He scratched his head and pretended to be stupid, and rubbed her ponytail with a silly smile. Oh, Yuyan, are you having a nightmare? Last night, I played a game and it flashed blue light. It was just a special effect on my mobile phone. Golden light. The sweat beads are reflecting the light. Don't think too much, you arrogant ghost. He broke into the room in the middle of the night and scared the baby to death. He deliberately teased her, got up and dusted off the dust. The citrus fragrance was still lingering, sweet and embarrassing. Lin Yuyan hummed and crossed her arms, but did not ask. Her eyes flickered with doubts, and her voice softened. Idiot, thank you for saving me. My heartbeat is still beating wildly, it's so hot. She lowered her head and rubbed her skirt, glanced at him, and opened the door with a blush. Explain clearly tomorrow. Otherwise, let's go shopping on a date and complain about campus gossip. The door closed softly, and she walked away briskly. Yi Chen was paralyzed on the bed with a sigh of relief, feeling happy. The crisis was resolved, the sweet bond was upgraded. But the aftermath of the passage is buzzing, and Li Xiu conspires to target the school, causing big trouble. The next weekend, the sun shines brightly on the streets, the shopping malls are bustling with people, the fragrance of milk tea mixed with barbecue smoke hits your nostrils, and the radio music jingles. Yi Chen was forced to go shopping by Lin Yuyan. Her ponytail swayed, her short skirt fluttered, and she tugged on his sleeve. Idiot, hurry up. I'll let you go about the blue light last night. Buy clothes first. The club has won, so we have to celebrate. The passers-by around him cast envious eyes, and the girls whispered, that couple is so sweet, and the boy is so handsome. Yi Chen complained inwardly, on a date. Qingmei welfare is here, but Li Xiu is being watched by a new student, so he has to keep a low profile. Yi Chen's throat rolled, and his eyes couldn't help but slide down. The soft touch felt like an electric shock, and he roared in his heart, peak welfare. Qingmei's charm is overwhelming, but you can't act recklessly. He blushed and pushed away, pretending to be calm and handing over the coat. Hey, there's a problem with the curtain. The skirt is so beautiful, like a princess. Yuyan, you are usually arrogant, but you are so cute, boys are stunned. The clerk passed by and glared, with a trembling voice, brother, your girlfriend is so straight. The impact just made our eyes dazzled, the couple of gods. Lin Yuyan blushed and poked his waist. Shut up. Pay the bill, you pay. Gossip said that the transfer student Li Xiu spread your basketball cheats and said you bought medicine. A handsome guy turned into a bad guy. Wandering to the women's clothing store, the lights were bright and the fabrics were fragrant and soft. Lin Yuyan picked up a dress and entered the fitting room. The curtain was half opened and her voice was arrogant. Idiot, please give me some advice. Does this blue dress look like the one last night? Yi Chen felt nervous and leaned closer to the curtain. It's good. Suddenly the curtain hooked break, with a snap, she jumped out and ran into his arms. Her blue skirt was half open, her collarbones were looming, and the curve of her chest was close to his chest. The hot air hit her face, and the fragrance of citrus was strong. Ah! Idiot, what are you looking at? The curtain is broken. Why are you blushing? Your heartbeat is coming, so fast. As night falls, the blue light in the room pulses gently, and the sweet and greasy smell of earth magic hits lightly. Chen's consciousness is pulled into him while lying on the bed, and he lands on the border of another world. The residual wind howls in the canyon, the scorched earth and blood fade away, and new green shoots emerge. Chu Tian's blue robe flashed, the crystal staff glowed, and he smiled darkly. Brother, how good is it to date in real life? Lin Yuyan was in danger of inhalation, and you pulled back the golden talisman. It was a great operation. The intelligence was upgraded. The rumors on Li Xiu's campus were smoke, aiming at the passage plan. He threw the new equipment, and the silver ring flashed. Test the hidden amplification ring, 50% of the power invisible output, fight the little monster quickly. At a street milk tea stall, the ice-cold straw squeaked, and Chen complained, Li Xiu. That guy is jealous when he loses, does he take campus gossip seriously? Our club's ace, I'm just hiding my strength. Yuyan, you talked about, heroes save me, in your sleep last night, do you have a crush on me? Lin Yuyan sprayed milk tea, coughing and blushing. Fighter, no. Idiot, you are just talking about, the passage is unstable, in your sleep. Sweet, don't guess randomly. The two people laughed and pushed each other, the crowd looked sideways, and passers-by whispered in envy, look at them, they are so sweet. The boys have doting eyes, and the girls are arrogant and cute. Inner balanced dual life, sweet reality, heroes from another world. Overwhelmed by despair, Chen wore a ring and roared, the golden talisman flashed, and the power surged without leaving any trace. He leapt up and punched invisible, the head monster's chest collapsed and spurted blood and fell to the ground, his eyes bulged and he grunted, one punch, shadowless. Monster. The second wave came, his figure flashed in the fog, the aura increased, his kicks were connected in a series, and the bones were broken 3 times in a row. The monster flew against the rock wall, gravel splashed, and the remaining little monster legs he knelt softly on the ground, his voice trembling like a leaf in the wind, spare your life. The invisible power is so scary, our claws are broken, retreat. Chu Tian used a black belly to hit the demon, and used the crystal mist net to tie up the demon. He laughed and said, brother, when you wear this ring, you are like an invisible assassin. The little demon's eyes are so blind. Fog surged from the border in the distance, and smelly little monsters sprang out. More than a dozen green-skinned monsters, their minions dripping venom, roared with a ferocious smile, invasion. Kill the heroes, break the passage. Chen sneered inwardly, small role. First, he suppressed it. He deliberately pretended to be weak. He was knocked down by the first wave of claw nets. The venom splashed on his arms and became hot. He roared in pain, damn, this smells sour. Chu Tian was covered in mist, hold on, it's so fake. The little monsters laughed ferociously and beat them up. Sticks hit their shoulders with a bang, and blood sprayed hot. They watched the nameless border elf stare and tremble, a hero is going to fall. Those little monsters are too fierce, their eyes are red. The battle was over, and the border elves rushed to worship, their ears trembling, heroes are so powerful. We were crushed invisible just now, we thought it was an illusion, we worshipped to death. Chu Tian projected a message, and Shen Qingqing's white dress appeared in the crystal fog, with soft silver hair, and a voice as gentle as honey, Chen, thank you for protecting the border, your golden talisman has saved our country again. I feel warm in my heart. The document signing is approaching. Come and meet. Her eyes were soft, her cheeks were flushed, and she touched the projection with a fist, and Chen felt sweet in his heart, the princess's feelings are deepening, the bond between the two heroines? The blue light of the channel was pulled back steadily, and I woke up in bed, slightly wet with sweat. The next day on campus, Chen was walking in a low-key manner when he suddenly heard whispers. I heard that Chen took medicine while playing basketball. Li Xiu posted a photo on Moments with black eye circles and said he was fooling around in nightclubs. The girls glared and commented, a loser turned into a scumbag. Lin Yuyan still went shopping with him, how pitiful. Lin Yuyan pulled his corner and whispered arrogantly, idiot, there are rumors everywhere, please explain. Li Xiu smiled sinisterly from a distance, the smell of tobacco was floating, and his eyes were locked like knives. The campus corridors were as crowded as a vegetable market. The sun shone through the window panes and was hot and dazzling. The air was buzzing with the smell of chalk dust and sweat. The whispers were like flies flying around, that good-for-nothing Chen is cheating by taking pills. Li Xiu's circle of friends has irrefutable evidence. The dark circles under his eyes are paired with crystal blue light. The true nature of the scumbag who hangs out in nightclubs is exposed. The girls stared at him. With round almond-shaped eyes and pointing, his voice was sharp and contemptuous. Lin Yuyan went shopping with him, poor girl was deceived. Champion of the club. All because of medicine, disgusting. The boys laughed and punched their shoulders and taunted like razor blades scratching their ears. Handsome waist guy, why are you pretending to be a hero? Li Xiu, a handsome transfer student, is a real man. The fragments of crystal in Chen's pocket vibrated like his heart beating wildly. The blue light flashed through his sleeves and faintly burned his skin. The buzzing sound penetrated his brain. His face turned livid and he yelled in his heart, Li Xiu is a bitch, he's a smoke bomb. The passage portends that the whole school is involved, will my double life collapse? He lowered his head and walked quickly, the soles of his shoes squeaking against the tiles, but Lin Yuyan pulled the corner of his clothes fiercely, his ponytail flicked in the wind, and the hot citrus fragrance hit his nostrils. She glared arrogantly and poked his soft flesh, idiot. Stop, rumors are flying all over the sky, and you are still pretending to be dead. That insidious Li Xiu, spreading crystal photos with black eye circles, I don't believe you are buying medicine in a nightclub. Explain, otherwise, I'll bite you. Her fingertips were trembling with electricity, her face was as red as a ripe peach, and her eyes were filled with confusion and doubt. The passers-by looked sideways and said, wow, Lin Yuyan is protecting food. That loser is so lucky. Suddenly, Li Xiu sprang out from the corner. His tall and thin figure blocked the road. The smell of tobacco was as pungent as poisonous mist. He smiled sinisterly at the corners of his mouth, and narrowed his eyes into slits to lock eyes with Chen. Hey, classmate Yi, the dark circles under his eyes were exposed. The number of likes in the circle of friends exceeded 1,000, and the girls all vomited. Basketball cheating, shopping benefits, all of them smoke. Or, is there a ghost in the night? He leaned closer and whispered, his breath smelling like sulfur, and the green crystal in his pocket pulsed faintly. The passers-by looked on and stared excitedly. Li Xiu is tough. Chen is about to give up, the scumbag shows up. Chen's heart was burning, his fists were white, his knuckles were cracking, and he sneered in his heart, identified evidence. If I match green crystal with you as a spy, I will wait for the other world to kill you. But he pretended to be cowardly, scratching his head and giggling, brotherly, I misunderstood. I stayed up late playing games with dark circles under my eyes, crystal. The phone case reflects the light. Are girls' gossip serious? Yuyan, let's go, ignore the loser. Lin Yuyan stood up with a groan, pulled Chen's arms close to her, and touched her soft breasts lightly. She glared at Li Xiu and flicked her ponytail, shut up. Chen, the ace of the club, are you jealous of losing and spreading rumors? What kind of class bully are you pretending to be a transfer student? The smell of cigarettes kills you. Girls have sharp eyes, but you smile like a villain. Li Xiu's face was livid, and the smell of tobacco worsened and trembled. Passers-by gasped, and his voice was trembling. Lin Yuyan domineeringly protects her boyfriend. Li Xiu is so embarrassed that his eyes are red. The girls secretly admired. Yuyan is so awesome, Chen is picking up the treasure. Li Xiu gritted his teeth and stepped back with a sinister smile. Let's see, the passage. No, the campus gossip has just begun. He turned away, his back stiffened, and Chen was relieved in his heart. Sweet maintenance is at its peak, but the omen buzzing is intensifying, and the crisis is approaching. In the playground during lunch break, the sun is scorching the back, the heat wave is rolling, the green smell of the lawn is mixed with the smell of sweat. Chen is sitting alone in the shade of the tree, taking stock. The hidden amplification ring is turning the fingers with a faint silver light. He is monologue in his heart. 50% of the new equipment's invisible output. The eyes of the alien demon are blindly crushing. The afterglow of the golden talisman stabilizes the pressure. The dwarf orc intelligence upgrades Li Xiu's plan, and the whole school channel is shaken. I fix it and improve it. He closed his eyes and activated the ring. Power surged through his body. His muscles were faintly bulging and hot. The invisible wind from his fingertips was buzzing in the air, and the leaves rustled. The boys passing by him stared and rubbed their eyes. Wind? Why is Chen sitting there? The trees are shaking like an earthquake, and our eyes are dazzled. He chuckled and stopped, feeling happy. The invisible assassin mode is unlocked, and reality is a low-key alien killing of gods. In the afternoon class, chalk was clanging against the blackboard, and Lao Wang's voice was hoarse, quiet. Don't spread rumors about Li Xiu. Chen is a hero of the club. But the whispers continued, and Lin Yuyan passed a note with a beautiful handwriting. Idiot, hold on. Come to my house at night to explain the Blu-ray golden light, otherwise the date will be cancelled. Chen's red face is sweet in his heart. Qingmei's welfare combo, that Sundra hook is full. The school bell jingles, the blood-red sunset stretches the shadow. He sneaks home to repair. The blue light in the room pulses gently. The sweet and greasy smell of earth magic lingers lightly, taking stock of the dwarf orc intelligence. Li Xiu's green crystal earth alloy. The campus smoke bomb cover channel collapses. The whole school's dream is involved in the war. The hidden ring is firmly worn, and the invisible burst of power is ready. He snorts in his heart. Come on, I will take over the big crisis. Night came suddenly. The air in the room suddenly condensed. The vortex of blue light exploded violently like a black hole swallowing the sky. The eardrums were torn by buzzing. The bookshelf trembled. The aftertaste of citrus was instantly replaced by the smell of earthy magic, and the strong wind filled the curtains and danced wildly. Chen's heart was shocked and he roared in his heart. The channel collapsed. Li Xiu activates. Will the omen for the whole school come true? Before he even lay down in bed, his whole body was sucked in, his vision turned upside down, the heat wave burned his skin like fire, and he was forced to travel to a dangerous area in another world, the crack in the core of the passage. When landing, the canyon abyss roared, the rock walls flashed with blood-red veins, sulfuric hot wind roared against the face, the cracks in the ground sprayed blue mist, and the guardian beast king in the distance roared to the sky, 100-meter giant lizard, with shiny black scales dripping venom, eyes as red as lanterns, and minions roaring, intruder. Passage guard, tear heroes apart, destroy files. Chen got up from the ground, the dust was choking and hot, the silver and black armor half appeared, and the golden talisman flashed. He was filled with despair, a single person forced to travel through. Without Chu Tian's assistance, the Beast King suppressed 10 times. The risk of exposure is so high that the whole school's dream collapses. The giant lizard's tail whip swept forward, the wind pressure was like a landslide and roared, rocks shattered and splashed with blood on his face. Chen dodged the ground and burned his soles, poisonous mist spurted out and burned his lungs with a sour smell. He pretended to be weak and roared, damn, this thing is too fierce. The crack elves around him trembled and hid in the rock crevices, and their voices shook like wind leaves, hero alone. The Beast King's eyes are red, his claws are shaking, we are finished. At the peak of the crisis, Chu Tian's blue-robed crystal staff shrouded his body in mist, with a sinister smile and an anxious voice, "Brother. Pull me here through spiritual communication, the channel is shaken, you are the first to be hit. The hidden ring is fully opened, brother, help." He waved the staff to cover the sky, and the blue mist stuck to the legs and feet of the giant lizard and corroded it. Suddenly, Shen Qingqing, in a white dress with silver hair, came in the wind. Her skirt fluttered and the fragrance of flowers filled her nostrils. Her silver eyes turned soft and firm, and she held a golden peace scroll in her hand, "Yi Chen. In the crisis of document signing, I will personally go out." The guardian beast of the passage was angered by Li Xiu's green crystal, and the three of them joined forces. Her voice was as soft and electrifying as honey, and the surrounding elves stared in admiration. "The princess has arrived. The silver hair is shining with divine light, our hearts have stopped." Li Xiu's figure loomed in the distance, his black robe wrapped in green crystals pulsing, and the smell of magic tobacco drifted away. He grinned and roared, "The documents are destroyed. The passages are broken, and the whole school is enslaved on earth." His green crystals projected a rain of poisonous needles, which swished through the air and was hot. Yi Chen was filled with rage in his heart, a bad spy, the irrefutable evidence is revealed. The desire to rise first suppressed the despair. The giant lizard pounced and covered the sky with its claws. Its fangs dripped into the caves on the ground and sizzled. The Chu Tian mist net broke. He coughed up blood and fell to the ground. "Brother, come on. Brother, I can't hold on." Shen Qingqing's scroll golden light shield shattered. She turned pale and trembled, "Yi Chen, be careful." The elves screamed in despair, "It's over. Beastmaster plus Li Xiu, the hero's eyes are straight, we are going to exterminate the clan." A moment of explosion. Yi Chen wore a ring and roared, the golden talisman was fully activated, the silver and black armor shone solidly, and the invisible power increased by 50%. His figure flashed like a ghost, and the wind of fists hit the giant lizard's abdomen invisible. The scales collapsed and spurted blood and hot blood. The beast king's eyes protruded and he turned white. "No, shadowless blow. Invisible monster." Chu Tian's belly was black to fill in, and the crystal fog needle shot his eyes continuously, and the giant lizard snapped. The rock wall collapsed with roaring roars. Shen Qingqing's scroll gold chain was tangled and tugged. Her silver hair was flying and blushing on her cheeks. "Yi Chen, divine power. Your power, my heart is beating." Yi Chen kicked with invisible roars, cracking bones for 5 consecutive times. The Beast King knelt down with his legs weak and shaking, and the venom sprayed out from his body and wailed, "Spare, spare my life. Hidden hero, it's too scary, his claws are all broken." Suddenly, the crystal fragments in Yi Chen's pocket shook violently, blue light faintly flashed through his sleeves, and his ears buzzed, a sign of a big vibration in the passage. Shocked in the heart, Li Xiu's crisis has started, and the whole school is involved. Li Xiu's green crystal exploded and he tried to escape. Yi Chen's invisible palm locked his throat and pulled him back. The smell of tobacco was as close as a rotting corpse. He sneered, "Improved green crystal, the school smoke bomb is over." With an invisible punch, Li Xiu blasted his chest. "Did you know? The passage plan is broken." The elves rushed out to worship, their ears trembling and screamed, "The 3 heroes are crushing. The Beast King is blind and kneeling, the Princess Golden Chain God, we worship the pants." The cracks in the passage shrank and the buzzing stopped, and the blue light was firm and gentle. Waking up in bed in reality, Yi Chen was dripping with sweat and panting like an ox, physically and mentally exhausted, and his muscles were burning like fire. He sighed in his heart, the big crisis has been resolved, and his dual life is more stable, but Li Xiu is still a gangster on campus. A hidden danger in the school's dream. The moonlight outside the window was deserted, and suddenly she heard the door lock turning and clicking. Lin Yuyan rushed in and swung her ponytail around. The citrus fragrance was strong. She stared at Yi Chen with wide eyes, half of the silver-black armor and golden symbols flashing. Idiot. The blue light comes again, I feel. What are you? Transformation. The hero, is it really you? The door closed softly, the blue mist in the room was faint, and the crisis hook suddenly rose. The blue mist in the room is like a ghost, pulsing and buzzing directly into the eardrums. The silver and black armor is half closed to the skin, cold and hot, the golden talisman flickers like a heart twitch, the smell of earth magic is mixed with sweat and saltiness in the air, and the curtains shake lightly and the shadows are lengthened like sharp claws hitting the face. Lin Yuyan's ponytail was stiff, and the citrus fragrance was strong but was suppressed by the blue mist. Her almond-shaped eyes were rounded and her pupils shrunk. She squeezed the doorknob tightly with her pink fist, her fingertips turned blue. Her voice was trembling and sharp like broken glass scratching her heart. Yi Chen. What the hell is this silver and black thing on your arm, and the golden runes flashing? I saw the blue light whirlpool with my own eyes, and it was like sucking people outside the door. You are the legend. Are the rumors about heroes true? The dark circles under the eyes, the crystals, and the nighttime fooling around are all transformations? Tell me, you idiot. You lied to me for so long, and you feel so confused. She took a step closer, her skirt rustled on the floor, her face turned pale and red, her eyes were filled with confusion and panic, and the surrounding blue mist was thick and sticky, and the dust on the bookshelf was like a sign of doom. Yi Chen's heart was beating wildly like a war drum, and beads of sweat were running down his back. He roared in despair, it's over. The green plum and iron tree are blooming, and their awareness is off the charts. The armor is half appearing and the whole school is exposed. Li Xiuyu's party is targeting him, and all the passages have collapsed. He pressed the golden talisman with force, and the clasp with trembling fingers was invisible. The silver-black phantom faded away, leaving only the shallow marks on his arms faintly like tattoos. The blue mist slowly shrank and pulsed gently. He scratched his head and pretended to be stupid. His voice was shaky and he complained, Yuyan. You broke into the men's room in the middle of the night, do you have a tsundere syndrome? This is a cosplay prop. The club's new outfit, silver and black armor. LED light, golden charm phone case reflection, blue light computer screen vortex filter effect. Hero. Ha, I am a loser. Li Xiu smoke bomb, bite me to prove it. He opened his mouth and grinned, and prayed inwardly, hidden ring stabilizes the sweet twist, otherwise the double life will be wiped out. Lin Yuyan squinted her eyes suspiciously, her ponytail flicked in the wind and the citrus was hot. She moved closer and poked the soft flesh of his chest, her fingertips were as hot as electric shocks, and her breath was sweet as a girl. Props? Liar. The scars on the arms are hot, and the earthy smell of blue mist is like magic. My eyes are not blind. On campus, you dodge basketball skills, black eye circles are crystal blue light, Li Xiu's sinister smile and confrontation are all right. Idiot hero, admit it, I, Lin Yuyan, have the best perception in the school. I won't betray you. She leaned forward, her soft warmth spreading across her arms. Her eyes turned from panic to passionate admiration, and she lightly tapped his shoulder with her pink fist. Her voice softened and became arrogant and angry. I'm so sad to hide this from you, but, from now on. Hidden, I'll help. Increase the sweetness of the date, explain everything with blue light, or I'll bite your neck off. People were stealing from the surrounding street lights, and the shadows of the neighbors' windows were shaking like wildfire, and Yi Chen was filled with relief and ecstasy, loyal. The peak of awareness turns into the goddess of food protection, and the crisis is doubled sweetness, but the shadow of depression is shrouded, and Li Xiuyu and the whole school are buzzing with hidden dangers in their dreams. She pulled him to sit on the bed. The bed springs creaked and bounced, and the citrus fragrance lingered like a honey net. He complained in his heart, Qingmei welfare straight ball, the blue mist in the room was faint, and the footsteps outside the door. The depressing premonition is overwhelming. Lin Yuyan crossed her legs and stared, taking out the note and smelling the fragrance. Tomorrow's exam, Li Shuyu's party is rumored to have framed you for cheating, and the proctor Wang is watching you to death. I will help cover it. Idiot hero, low-key in reality, killing gods in other worlds. His heart is beating so fast. Chen blushed and felt sweet in his heart. Tsundere and loyalty double-click, daily hero mode is unlocked. He whispered a promise, thank you, Yuyan, for my backing. The blue mist faded, the moonlight shone coldly on the bed, her ponytail lightly touched his cheek and the warmth spread, the room became gentle and depressing and turned sweet, and the crisis hook was hidden deep in the depths. The next morning, the campus fog filled the air with damp and sticky skin. The bells rang like a death knell. Black clouds hung low and suppressed the suffocating heat. The playground lawn was slippery and squeaking. Students whispered like a swarm of flies, news about Li Xiu from another world. Green crystal smoke bomb, the truth about Yi Chen's black eye. The exam frame-up drama started, and the whole school's dream was shaken by hidden dangers. Who will die first when the tunnel collapses? Boys pushed and punched each other. With a thud on her shoulders, the girl's almond-shaped eyes pointed gloomily, a loser hero? Lin Yuyan is blind to protect food. The ironclad evidence of cheating is spread by the Li Xiu party. The club champion is fake. The smell of sweat in the air mixed with chalk dust is pungent. Chen lowers his head and walks quickly, his heart as heavy as lead. Li Xiu vomited all the bloody information. You dang small tricks on campus are suppressing the situation. The black cloud of the exam frame-up is approaching, the double border attack plan is undecided, and I am at a desperate disadvantage. The entrance to the examination room was crowded with people and the heat wave was rolling. Lao Wang shouted hoarsely, quiet. Chen sits in the front row. Don't spread rumors about Li Shuyu's party. However, the green crystal fragments on the invigilator's table pulsated faintly, and the interlayer of hidden test papers buzzed at a low frequency. The passerby boys stared and stole, framed props. There is irrefutable evidence that Chen plagiarized, eyes are red and staring. Lin Yuyan swung her ponytail in front of the wind, the citrus fragrance dispersed the haze, she pulled Chen's sleeves and whispered, idiot, I will sit back and cover. I noticed that the fat guy Li Xiu had a green light in his pocket. The bell in the examination room rang, the paper rustled, and Chen snorted in his heart, little conspiracy. The hidden ring is fully opened, and the suppressed moment explodes. The tip of the pen scratched the paper, and his invisible energy filled his palm. The far end of the green crystal fragment cracked and shattered, and the hum was cut off. Fatty's pocket was filled with smoke and he coughed repeatedly. His face was livid and trembling. How did it break? The framed props blinded my eyes. Old Wang frowned and knocked on the table. Fat boy, what kind of cigarette is in your pocket? Get out. The whole audience gasped, and his voice shook like a sieve, the wind around Chen. The green crystal exploded, Fatty turned into a dog, our heart stopped. Lin Yuyan snickered in the back row, and the note flew to Wan Xiu's handwriting. The hero is trying his best, God. The girls secretly admired the Xingyan twinkling. How lucky is Yuyan's boyfriend. Li Xiu and Yu Dang blew themselves up, and Yi Chen's aura is so overwhelming. Yi Chen felt happy in his heart, he was easily crushed, and he found that he was a loyal match, but the dark clouds were not gone. Intelligence showed that the remnant party was attacking late at night, and the whole school had hidden dangers in the dream. At the end of the exam, the bell jingled piercingly, the sun barely pierced the fog and the heat, he slipped under the shade of the tree to take stock, the hidden ring turned and the silver light dimmed, his strength was gathering without a trace, his heart was depressed. Chu Tian contact, double realm pincer attack, Li Xiu's real tobacco magic is approaching. Midnight came suddenly, the room's blue light whirlpool gently pulsed, and the sweet magic smell of earth lingered lightly. Chen was lying on the bed, his vision was spinning, the heat wave burned his skin, and he was forced to cross the edge of the canyon in another world. The blood-red veins on the rock wall flashed low, and the sulfuric hot wind whizzed into his nose. Intelligence. The dwarf orcs are tracking everyone, the green crystal earth alloy is matched, the campus smoke bombs cover the entire school, and the double border attack plan is launched. Chen roared and shared, the exam frame-up was easily broken, the fat boy green crystal blew himself up, but the dark clouds came over the city, and the remaining party attacked Lin Yuyan late at night. Qingmei's loyal gang concealed it, and their awareness was off the charts. Chu Tian's staff waved the fog net to spread the ground, and the blue mist and sticky rock sizzled in his eyes. She narrowed her eyes and trembled with excitement. Perfect. Brother assisted the invisible amplification upgrade, the crystal needle locked the coordinates of the remaining party in the real world, the dwarf orcs from the other world raided their lair, you are in real-life assassin mode, attack and kill them. Shen Qingqing received the message, Shen Wei blushed, the document was stable, she personally filled the position. Suddenly, the silver-haired phantom in the white dress appeared, Shen Qingqing's silver eyes were mist, the sweetness of flowers and honey penetrated the mist, and her voice was warm. Soft electric shock, Chen, after guarding from another world, his heart is filled with enthusiasm, and he sends a message to confess, you are my hidden hero, the two worlds meet, embrace and depend on each other forever. Be careful of the remaining gang members, the princess's power is with you. The phantom faded, the afterglow of the golden rune entered the body, and Chen's inner emotions climaxed and suppressed the release, sweet two heroines, loyal Qingmei plus princess heartbeat, but the crisis is rolling in black clouds. Shen Qingqing threw herself into Chen's arms, her white dress was soft and warm against her body, and the sweet scent of flowers and honey was tangy to her nose. Her misty silver eyes hugged her tight, and her voice was trembling and crying, Chen, thank you, for guarding both worlds, you are my hero. The file is stable, and my heart is full of enthusiasm. Chen's heart the emotional climax was released, and he promised to whisper, Princess, I will protect you and protect everything. Chu Tian patted his shoulder with a black belly, brother, invisible assassin plus perfect assistance, so awesome. Li Xiu was captured, and all the information was vomited. The three of them joined forces to seal the passage, and the blue light gently pulled back. The next night, the streets were dark and damp, the fog filled the streets and the street lamps were dim and swaying like will-o'-the-wisps. The stench of the garbage cans was rotten and pungent, and the footsteps echoed in the air. Lin Yuyan walked home alone, her ponytail swaying, the faint citrus fragrance was suppressed by the poisonous smoke of tobacco. She had an inner monologue. The idiot hero tests his magical skills, sweethearted but dark clouds weigh on his heart, does it feel like Li Xiu is being followed by the gang? Suddenly, 5 people emerged from the black shadow and surrounded them. The smell of tall and thin tobacco filled the air with magic, and the green crystal pulsed and buzzed. They laughed ferociously and roared, Lin Yuyan. Chen Qingmei, the kidnapping and threatening hero appeared, and the passage collapsed and the whole school was enslaved. The rope net swished through the air and was hot, she screamed and dodged her skirt. His fists were tearing apart, and his pink fists were trembling in the air, how reckless. Chen will kill you, you remaining gangsters. Passers-by stared in the distance and hid, and their voices trembled, kidnapping. Smoke green crystal devil, we are blind and wet our pants, call the police and stop. The black clouds are overwhelming, the crisis explodes, and the hook rises sharply. The fog in the streets is like a ghost hand caressing the skin, and the humidity is sticky and drills into the pores. The street lights are dim and swaying, elongating the black shadows like sharp claws. The rotten stench of the trash can is mixed with the magic of tobacco, which is pungent and sweet. Lin Yuyan's ponytail is swaying. Trembling in the wind, the torn edges of her skirt dripped hot blood. Her almond-shaped eyes widened in panic, and she clenched a stone in her pink fist and hit the tall and thin Yudang with a thud on his head. Her voice was sharp and arrogant, get away. You green crystals. Dog, hero Chen killed all the remnants of Li Xiu, Lin Yuyan, are not easy to bully. Bite me, come and bite me. The 5 people surrounded me and roared, the green crystals filled with tobacco mist pulsating and buzzing, and the tall and thin nose quivered with blood. The short and fat grasping rope net whizzed away and the hot wind hit her face. The other 3 people's green light fingertips were sizzling the magic condensed net. She dodged and the corners of her skirt were torn even more, her ankles were sprained and she was gasping for breath, and her inner monologue became a mess. Come on, idiot Yi Chen. The peak of awareness is replaced by bravery, and the goddess of food protection is not cowed, but the shadow is overwhelming and my heartbeat is shattered, and I have to bear the crisis of the passage. Behind the shadow of the tree, Yi Chen's heart was pounding like a hammer. The hidden ring of silver light faintly burned his wrists and pulsed. The coordinates of Chu Tian's crystal needle drilled straight into his mind, and an alarm buzzed. He roared with despair in his heart, the rest of the gang is here. Lin Yuyan walked alone and I was negligent. Qingmei Zhongzhong was involved in the kidnapping threat. The 5 people's green crystal tobacco magic power was fully activated. The reality was that they were in a desperate situation without armor, and my image as a good-for-nothing high school student collapsed. Channel exposes whole school to slavery. Suppress the peak of the black cloud, fight with wits to break the situation, or else the sweet twins will be destroyed. He took a deep breath of the rancid mist that entered his lungs and pressed his heart. The invisible ring of energy made his fingertips tremble slightly. The psychological game was like a lightning confrontation. A forced charge exposed the hero. Green crystal linkage kills me instantly. Invisible remote crystal fragments such as exams. But the 5 people dispersed, the smoke net blocked the alley, and the shadowless fist was very risky at close range. Lin Yuyan bravely delayed Jin Gui and sacrificed the small plan to reverse. Kurigaku used his strength to pretend to be a passerby and lure him into chaos. The finger buckle sizzled, and he lowered his head and walked out pretending to be drunk. His voice was hoarse and trembling. Ouch, buddy, kidnapped on the street. What's the smoke and green light? Call the police. He sneered inwardly, lost the bait, bitten the hook to scare the dog. The tall and thin Yu Dang turned his head and smiled ferociously, his green eyes flashing, and the tobacco magic breath hit his nostrils. Get out of here, passerby. Yi Qingqing has tied up the threatening hero, the green crystal net is closed, and if the passage collapses, you will be buried with him. The short and fat man rushed forward and threw the rope net at Yi Chen, swishing through the wind. He pretended to stumble and fall, splashing mud and wet his sticky legs, and complained in his heart, acting emperor, you are so powerful. The invisible fist wind penetrated the palm without a shadow, the green crystal pocket of the far end locked in the pocket cracked and buzzed, the smoke self-exploded and filled the air with coughs, the short fat face was ashen and his legs were shaking like chaff, and his voice was as sharp as breaking glass. Ghost, the green crystal is broken again. Like the fat boy in the exam, the master is blinded and his heart is beating. The other 3 eyes widened and their pupils shrank, and the green light fingertips flashed at each other. Self-destruction. Yi Chen's aura. We are scared, retreat. Lin Yuyan took advantage of the rocks to hit her tall and thin knees again, and he screamed miserably. The smell of mud, blood, and water mixed with mist made him scream. Her ponytail flicked in the wind and her face was filled with hot citrus. Her almond-shaped eyes turned around with adoration. Idiot. You're here, and your magic skills are gone. Do you realize how brave I am? Let's kill the dog together. The passers-by's eyes widened and they trembled, drunk passers-by. The 5 green crystals retreated in disorder, and the girl stoned the hero, and her heart beat so fast that she wet her pants. Yi Chen's heart was filled with ecstasy and the suppressed release, a small victory in a battle of wits. Lin Yuyan grew up to be a brave partner, and Qingmei protected the food double-click, but the rest of the gang escaped from the coordinate lock and were constantly tracked. He rushed forward and grabbed her arm, spreading the warmth. The invisible energy and body-protecting mist wrapped her around and disappeared. The 5 of them hurriedly ran into the alley with their footsteps making a muffled sound. He growled, Yuyan, hold on tight. Welfare is straight, complain later. She blushed and spread to her cheeks. The chest is soft and hot, the ponytail sweeps the neck and itches, the arms are wrapped tightly around the waist and the bone pain is sweet, the citrus fragrance is rich and the honey net is entangled, the voice is arrogant and soft, idiot hero, half a beat late. I am brave and handsome, right? Embrace the heat to death, the passage is dangerous, I share the opportunity, my heartbeat is crazy. I bite you to make up for it. The fog cleared at the corner of the alley and the moonlight shone on me. Passers-by gasped in the distance and pointed out, escape with a hug. The girl's ponytail is on her face and she is blushing, the drunk man's aura dominates the street, and the rest of the party is a dog. Howling and fleeing, our legs are weak because of our admiration. Yi Chen's heart turned sweet, crisis turned to welfare, the two heroines of loyalty and growth warmed up, but the dark cloud remained on Li Xiu's trail, and the psychological game continued, letting go of the bait, Chu Tian locked the big fish. The whirlpool of midnight blue light swirled around the room again and pulsed gently, and the sweet and magical smell of earth gently lingered on his nose. Yi Chen lay on the bed and urged the heat wave to scald his skin across the canyon. The rock wall had blood-red veins and low flashes of sulfur-hot wind whistling in his face. Chu Tian's blue robe appeared wrapped in mist, and the crystal staff buzzed and turned the shadow of the needle. He smiled with a dark belly and was trembling with excitement, brother. In reality, the coordinates of the 5 remaining members of the party are all locked, and they are trying to escape from the green. 3 crystals were broken, and the remaining 2 fled to the abandoned factory. The traces of Li Xiu emerged, the source of tobacco magic, where the core of the Earth's alloy green crystal is hidden. The dwarf orcs are ready to attack the other world, and your assassin will continue to chase without a trace. Yi Chen roared and shared the street wits, Lin Yuyan bravely embraced the welfare, Chu Tian patted his shoulder and laughed warmly, perfect growth. Qingmei Sundra shares the sweetness, and the mist network increases and upgrades, the crystal needle pierced the factory, the fog disappeared without a trace, and the big fish was slaughtered, the ironclad evidence that Li Xiu appeared. Suddenly, the white-dressed silver-haired phantom reappeared, Shen Qingqing's silver eyes flashed with mist, the sweet fragrance of flowers and honey penetrated the mist, like an electric shock to the heart, her voice was soft and red, and trembled, Yi Chen, protect Qingmei's real crisis, the divine power and wits are transmitted, the document signing hall is strictly guarded. Li Xiu's party factory nest the pulsating green crystal in the hole threatens the channel, and my princess's golden chain shield is personally supplemented. The power embraces you in both worlds, and will never die. Be careful of the big conspiracy, and your heart is full of enthusiasm. The aftertaste is flowing hotly into the body, and Yi Chen's inner emotions reach a climax, the princess's intelligence is double-clicked, the sweet entanglement is at its peak, and the psychological game is determined, the factory is flanked, and the sacrifice of the fog is finally reversed. The next day, the campus sunshine barely penetrated the mist and filled the playground with heat. The lawn was dry and crisp, and the bells were ringing loudly and cheerfully. The students whispered and worshipped, rumors of kidnapping in the streets. Yi Chen smashed 5 dogs with a green plum stone and blew himself up to escape. Embrace the god of escape. The rest of the party's green crystal shattered and the whole school was shaken. Li Xiu's smoke bomb was finished. The dream passage is stable and the dream is so sweet. The boys pushed and punched their shoulders and laughed, the girls' almond-shaped eyes flashed and pointed, Yu Yan is brave and handsome, Yi Chen is a drunkard and the wind blows on the street. They interact sweetly during club activities, and they notice the benefits of a hero's dark circles. The door of the club room creaked and the heat wave rolled in, the tables and chairs were dusty, and the basketball bounced on the floor. Lin Yuyan's ponytail flicked in the wind, and the tangerine tangy nose pulled Yi Chen's sleeves to sit. The club practices to cover and track the remaining party members. Am I brave and handsome? Sundara grows up and bites you. Yi Chen blushed and complained internally, the welfare sequel is a sweet relief from daily stress, but the dark cloud of the factory weighs on his heart. He pretended to be stupid and scratched his head, Queen Yuyan of the club, I was the drunk guy who passed by yesterday. She is a cosplayer. Come on, pass the ball. The basketball was swung into the air, and his invisible strength slightly guided the arc into the frame. The whole audience gasped. The boys widened their eyes and trembled. Chen, wind control. God of curveball, the champion of the club. Let's worship with soft legs. The girls snickered and admired Lin Yuyan. My boyfriend is so lucky. Yuyan bravely kidnapped and escaped. The sweet interaction makes me feel itchy. She blushed and hit his shoulder with a soft thump, and said in a loud voice, "Huh, you can't hide your magical skills." I overheard the fat boy vomiting in the udang factory, and attacked the club at night, and let's fight together. The smell of sweat in the room mixed with the sweetness of citrus, the sunlight on the window was hot, and Chen felt relieved. The daily routine of high school returned to comedy, the loyalty grew to match, the psychological game was warm, double border attack on the factory, reversal and momentum. The ruins of the factory stand at dusk, the fog is filled with the pungent smell of rust, the broken window glass is shattered, the wind is roaring, the green crystal is pulsing and humming, the magic heat wave of tobacco is rolling. Chen's hidden ring urges the fog to sneak in without a shadow. Chu Tian's spirit message fog net is covered with sticky iron, and he snorts in his heart. Intelligent temptation and self-destruction are linked with the dwarf orc's raid from another world, and the crystal needle locks in the big fish's conspiracy. The short, fat remnant paced and trembled, whispering, "Boss Li Xiu." The green crystal of the factory exploded the passage, the whole school enslaved the alien army and suppressed the border, and everything collapsed just before the document was signed. The tall, thin green eyes flashed in panic. The blood spray information was wrong. Chen's shadowless fists were used to fight ghosts and gods, and the streets were filled with self-destruction, and the dwarf orcs were attacking. Suddenly, the cracks in the rock cracked open, and the dwarf orcs roared and their bloody claws came out. The Chu Tian mist net wrapped around his body to assist remote control, and Chen's invisible energy penetrated the air and hit his chest. Pull, the rest of the party stared and vomited blood and knelt down and trembled. Ghost, the shadowless double realm attack. All the information was vomited. Li Xiu's bigger conspiracy, the alliance of alien demons, non-channel slavery, the eternal war between the two realms for document forgery. The green crystal core cracked and shattered, buzzing, and the smoke filled the air. The coughs continued, and the whole factory passed by in the distance and gasped. Green light explosion. The dwarf roared the shadowless fist. The remaining party encouraged the dog to talk about the conspiracy. Our hearts burst into worship diapers. Chu Tian slapped his shoulders and laughed darkly. Brother, all the information is locked. In reality, the remaining 5 people, the green crystal pulsation of tobacco magic, are kidnapping Lin Yuyan and threatening the passage. Kirigakure, are following you. You are killing with the shadowless fist. The blue light was pulled back, and Chen woke up in bed sweating, snoring coldly in his heart. Plan together, suppress the peak explosion. The moonlight in the room was like a silver blade piercing the window, and the mottled cold shadows on the sheets stretched out. The sticky and hot sweat slid down his back. Chen sat up suddenly, his chest heaved violently, his heartbeat roared like a war drum, and the hidden silver light pulsated and burned his wrists like a fire snake. His inner monologue surged like a turbulent wave. It's a dog's day, Li Xiu. It's not enough to forge documents and fight the Demon King's alliance forever. The green crystal factory is completely wiped out and the intelligence is spewing blood. Black clouds cover the passage and blow up the entire school to enslave the two worlds forever. Lin Yuyan's brave and sweet social welfare, Shen Qingqing's golden dependence and hotness, Chu Tianwu's brother patting the shoulder, all the clues gathered together to find me alone. The abyss of despair is slippery underfoot, and the heroic twins are on the verge of collapse. The battle of wits is full of cards, otherwise the sweet daily life will be wiped out. Suddenly, a heat wave burst out from the hidden ring, and the crystal needle shadow of Chu Tian went straight into his mind. Buzzing and tingling, a blue-robed phantom appeared, and the mist wrapped around his skin was cold and sticky. He laughed with a dark belly. trembling, and his voice was as low and excited as a chainsaw cutting through Yijing, brother. The remnants of the factory sprayed blood to prove the upgrade, and the coordinates of Li Xiu's alien base were locked. The heart of the Demon King's lair was pulsating with green crystal alloy. Forged documents were infiltrated into the palace, and the dwarf orcs were following. The tracking group roars and gathers, and the countdown to the tunnel explosion is 3 hours. Princess Shen Qingqing's golden chain scroll is personally transmitted, my mist net hidden auxiliary upgrade, the crystal staff remote control shadowless fist linkage is perfect, but the tobacco magic power of Li Xiu's assassin form is overwhelming, our disadvantage is overwhelming, the brothers and heroes are fully activated, otherwise the battle will last forever. Yi Chen's fists cracked, his knuckles were as white as jade, and he snorted in his heart, disadvantage. I win in a battle of wits in the streets and factories, the team holds the battle, and the psychological war is raging, integrate the intelligence, break into the devil's nest, and crush his fake eternal disaster. The wind roared outside the window like a ghost crying, and the scent of citrus suddenly entered her nose with a hot breath. Lin Yuyan's dark figure climbed out of the window and fluttered her ponytail. Her skirt was torn and bloody, leaving traces of sweet blood. Her almond-shaped eyes were round and fierce, and she clenched the paper in her pink fist and hit Yi Chen's cheek. Chuanxiu's handwriting trembled, idiot. The fat boy's remnants vomited all the factory information and I eavesdropped on it. After the club attacked Li Xiu's base at night, I bravely shared the channel crisis and sweetly embraced the hot death sequel. She sat cross-legged on the edge of the bed, her breath rushing to her face, her voice bursting with anger and arrogance with a blush, Hero Yi Chen. I admire the magic skills of smashing rocks in the streets. I admire weak legs. The campus curve ball wind control worships the whole school. The remaining green crystals self-destruct in a series and you are crushed without a shadow. Now the factory is always fighting and plotting to spurt blood. I, Lin Yuyan, support the intelligence direct ball with half-knowledge. Love bites you and won't let me go. I blow up the tunnel and protect my food. Isn't the team cool? Yi Chen's red face turned sweet and depressed, Qingmei's loyalty grew to the peak, her ponytail swept her cheeks and it was a hot bonus, the real-life information double-click continued, her cell phone recording made the fat boy tremble and vomited, Li Xiu's tobacco source Devil Alliance's counterfeit palace plan was locked. The whirlpool of blue light then swirls and pulses gently, tugging at the heat waves on the skin. The blood-red veins on the rock walls of the otherworldly canyon flash wildly. The sulfuric stench hits the face like a volcano erupting. The blue-robed entity of Chu Tian manifests in a crystal staff that buzzes, turns, and locks the shadow of a needle in the air. He pats his shoulders and laughs hotly in the mist. Trembling, perfect. Yuyan's brave intelligence transmission, reality support god, the dwarf orcs roar and gather the mist net to wrap the whole team. Shen Qingqing, white dress and silver hair, gracefully descended into the hall, the afterglow of golden light scalded the sky, the floral honey was as sweet as the electric honey net, entangled in the direct attack in her heart, her silver eyes flashed with a blush, and her cheeks were filled with warmth and her voice was trembling, Yi Chen. The team gathered together, the Shenwei Street Factory's double-win information was locked up, my princess's golden chain shield magic amplification was personally supplemented, the forged threat channel in the document palace was blown up, my power will never be extinguished with you, the two worlds embraced with enthusiasm. Beware of Li Xiu's assassin, we have a tacit understanding of reversal. Sparks flew in the eyes of the four of them, and Yi Chen's inner climax was released, the team pressed the battle. Chu Tian assists Kirigakure, Shen Qingqing increases, Lin Yuyan's real-life intelligence, Laozi's heroes are fully activated, Yongzhan Black Cloud steps on the soles of his feet, raid the Demon King's nest, and set it on fire. The Demon King's lair in the alien base stands in a sea of black mist. The heart of the green crystal alloy is pulsating and buzzing, and the ears are corroded like 1,000 insects gnawing at the brain. The magic heat of rust and tobacco is rolling and pungent and sweet. The dwarf orcs roar in the cracks of the rock wall and their minions are flashing with blood. The golden pages of forged documents in the palace are floating in the air and burning with magic fire. Li Xiu's tall and thin figure smiled ferociously and his green eyes flickered. The magic breath of tobacco hit his face. He twisted his figure and exploded into the form of an assassin. He was wrapped in black robes and green crystal armor and his sharp claws stretched and contracted. His voice was hoarse and mocking like a knife scraping bones. Yi Qingqing hero. The remaining parties in the streets and factories are all wiped out. The green crystals are spewing blood. The shadowless fist fights with wits and small victories are like shaking a tree. The Demon King's alliance is ready to fight forever. The hall of forged documents is blown up. The two realms of slavery are destroyed. I, Li Xiu, lead the tobacco industry. The net will lock you, the whole team. Kneel down and tremble and spit out blood to accompany you. The dwarf orcs roared, their front paws whizzed through the air, and the smell of blood filled the air. Green crystal nets sprang out from the ground and wrapped around their legs, sticky like glue. Chu Tian's crystal staff waved. The fog net spreads on the ground, the sticky rock sizzles, Shen Qingqing's golden chain scroll unfolds the shield, the golden light scalds the air and buzzes, Lin Yuyan's phantom message cell phone buzzes, the intelligence ball, reality Li Xiu trace lock, tobacco source alloy, heart weakness, left chest pulse. Yi Chen's silver-black battle armor with hidden rings was fully activated, and the invisible fist wind surged through his body. His inner despair turned into ecstasy. He suppressed the top, taunted and stepped on the soles of his feet. All his trump cards exploded, which was extremely exciting. He roared and charged forward, invisible in the mist, like a ghost flying through the air. The dwarf orcs roared, eyes widened with blood, trembling claws waving in the air, hot wind hitting their faces. Ghost, the shadowless hero is in full swing. The mist net wrapped in a golden shield burns the eyes, and the heart stops beating in the legs. I'm so weak. Li Xiu's green eyes narrowed and his grin turned to panic. The tobacco net threw out a swishing throat-locking sticky heat. The far end of his invisible fist hit the green crystal in his left chest, and his heart cracked and buzzed. The smoke exploded and he coughed repeatedly. Xiu vomited blood, his black robe tore his green armor, his pulse was trembling, and his voice was as sharp as broken glass. Impossible, the alloy heart is broken. The team has a tacit attack, the intelligence is all locked and the weak points are pierced, and I am at a disadvantage in the form of an assassin. Chu Tian's black belly smiled and the crystal needle stabbed the air to assist remote control. The rock wall of the battlefield collapsed, making a loud noise, and the dust flew up and choked the nose. The green crystal fragments jingled on the ground like rain. Shen Qingqing's silver hair was flying, and the gold chain shield was flowing hotly, increasing Yi Chen's energy. Her almond-shaped eyes were filled with water mist, and the hot breath hit her face. Yi Chen's power. The assassin severely damaged the intelligence. The plan to blow up the passage is revealed, and the Demon Alliance's forged palace is locked up forever. Lin Yuyan's real-life support phantom flashed with a ponytail and a strong citrus fragrance. Idiot hero. Fatty made up the recording. Li Xiu's real-life transfer student class domination is confirmed, and the document ceremony points directly to the campus. Disguise. Yi Chen's shadowless fists hit Li Xiu's chest and abdomen with a series of punches, and blood mist sprayed out. Li Xiu severely injured kneeling rock. His green eyes were filled with panic and despair. He swung the air with his sharp claws and tore away the hot wind. He howled miserably, 2 hours until the passage is destroyed. The Demon King of document forgery is here. The two worlds are fighting forever. You win the small game, I sneak back to the real campus ceremony to blow up everything. The black shadow was wrapped in twisted tobacco mist and fled through the rock cracks. The dwarf orcs roared and scattered, their claws and feet stomped with a muffled sound. The green crystal heart of the base was broken and the sea of black mist rolled like a roaring wave. The whole place was silent and panting hotly. Chu Tian's blue robe trembled and he patted his shoulders excitedly. brothers are perfect. The assassin was severely injured and escaped, and all the information was locked. The team's tacit understanding was a great victory. The crystal needle of the mist network continued to chase the campus. The distant shadows of the remaining dwarf orc soldiers came out with eyes full of blood. His eyes gasped and he trembled. The heroes are attacking with their shadowless golden shields. The boss is severely injured and flees. Our hearts are bursting. The Yongzhan conspiracy is over with blood. Shen Qingqing's pure white skirt sticks to Yi Chen's arms and the warmth is passed on, and the golden light lingers. Her veins were scalding, her silver eyes were watery and her cheeks were red and flushed. The fragrance of flowers and honey lingered in her nose like an electric shock. Her voice was soft and affectionate and trembling. Yi Chen protects the power of the two-world team. The assassin exposes the channel and blows up the plan. My princess's heart beats on top. Feng, from the phantom information in the streets to the golden chain hug today, your heroic twins have a sweet daily life. I, Shen Qingqing, will always be with you. I love you. I am so passionate that I will personally guard the document ceremony. Yi Chen's inner emotional climax was like a volcanic eruption. The team's winning tacit understanding reaches its peak, Ohm's brave intelligence, her brother's assistance Kirigakure, the princess' affectionate confession double-click, the dark clouds disperse and the sweet hero mode is fully activated. The whirlpool of blue light pulsed back gently, and the moonlight in the room shone coldly on the bed. Lin Yuyan's real body was sitting on the bed with her ponytail sweeping her cheeks and her almond-shaped eyes were hot in admiration. She lightly beat her shoulders with her pink fists and her voice was soft and sweet, idiot. My phone buzzed with news of the victory in another world. Assassin Li Xiu sneaked back to the real campus. The hook of the document ceremony pointed directly at tomorrow's club. Brave am I handsome? Embrace the benefits, I'm worried about the passage crisis and I'll bite you. Yi Chen blushed and pulled her into the warm citrus honey net, feeling relieved and warm in his heart. The two heroines are in a sweet match, and they are ready to reverse the battle, but the black shadow of Li Xiu's campus ceremony is shaking like an omen, and the psychological game continues. The final battle is burning, and peace between the two worlds is with me. Yi Chen's heart trembled and he had a suppressed climax, a slight reversal. Li Xiu forged documents to fight the hook forever. The passage changed and pointed to the final battlefield, the Demon King's nest, and black clouds erupted at the peak. The blue light vortex pulled back the gentle pulse, and he woke up in bed sweaty. The hidden silver light shone hotly, the moon shadow outside the window shook like an omen and whispered, the crisis hook was buried deep, and the sweet hero mode of double life was fully activated. The sun is like a golden arrow piercing the iron fence of the campus, the noisy heat wave of the cultural festival is blowing in the face, the sweet aroma of marshmallows mixed with the smoke of grilled skewers is filling the nose and lungs, the colorful flags and firecrackers in the booths are crackling and deafening, and the students are screaming and laughing like a surging tide. Yi Chen wiped the sweat from his forehead. The back of the booth was piled with club posters, and he kept muttering in his heart, Li Xiu is in a bad day. The Demon King's nest green crystal heart shattered, smoke self-exploded and severely injured, and he escaped. The all-intelligence channel blew up the 2-hour campus club ritual hook. The cultural festival was disguised and sneaked into the Eternal War Demon King. Lin Yuyan's ponytail flicking in the wind, citrus honey and sweet benefits continue, Qingmei intelligence is at the peak of bravery, I and the heroic twins are suppressed and sweet, and the crisis is exposed and the soles of the feet are slippery, balance the daily life, otherwise it will be ashes. Lin Yuyan's ponytail bounced, her almond-shaped eyes were hot, and her pink apron tied around her waist accentuated her hot curves. She held a plate of marshmallow powder and sprinkled it on her fingers. She lightly hit Yi Chen's shoulder with her pink fist, making it soft and warm. Her voice was so arrogant that she blushed and crawled on her cheeks, idiot hero. Last night's victory in the Demon King's nest. The mobile phone shook my legs and made me weak in admiration. The sweet interaction at the club stall continued. I overheard the channel crisis information. The gang is locked up. Li Xiu, the transfer student class bully, pretends to go shopping. I am brave enough to share the benefits, and I will not let you go. She leaned closer to the hot breath, and the citrus fragrance was as strong as electric honey netting her nose. Her pink lips were slightly curled, indicating affection. Yi Chen's blushing face was sweet and depressing. Qingmei grew up to be extremely loyal. The cultural festival's daily benefits climaxed, and the fireworks showed her heartbeat was crazy. Suddenly the crowd was buzzing and whispering like insects. The tall and thin figure of transfer student Li Xiu flashed with green eyes faintly pulsing. The magic power of tobacco was hidden. He smiled sinisterly at the corners of his mouth to pretend that his school uniform was wrinkled. The marshmallows in his hands melted and sticky and dripped to the ground and sizzled. His voice was hoarse and low, mocking like a knife scraping bones. Yi Chen's club stall. The Demon King's nest in the street and factory was defeated 3 times. The green crystal fragments spewed blood like ants. The passage was blown up and the document ceremony broke out tonight. The Demon King's alliance will forever fight the slavery of the 2 worlds. Lin Yuyan embraced your sweet daily life and was buried with him. The clown performed at the cultural festival and knelt down and trembled. The passers-by and students gasped with wide eyes, and the girls screamed and trembled and pointed. Li Xiu's class bully said harsh words. Yi Chen, the handsome guy in the club, is going to give in. Rumors spread across the campus, and the dark cloud of Yongzhan's conspiracy is overwhelming the abyss of despair. Lin Yuyan's eyes widened and she clenched her pink fists tightly, ponytail swung wildly. Disguise assassin. The fat boy's recording is irrefutable, and the club intelligence directly pokes your green eyes into panic. Yi Chen squeezed the white knot with his fist, and snorted in his heart. The game, taunting and trampling on the soles of the feet, suppressing the cultural festival to pave the way, and the surveillance at night is full of trump cards. The fog filled the edge of the campus and the iron gate creaked. The dark shadow of the transfer student Li Xiu sneaked into the dark eyes. The green eyes flickered and the tobacco magic pulsated faintly. He smiled evilly and whispered at the corner of his mouth, trembling and causing severe pain, Team Yi Chen. Assassin form. All the heartbreaking information will be vomited. The passage will blow up and the file ceremony will explode tomorrow. The Demon King's alliance will forever fight in 2 realms. The dog hero will be buried with sweetness every day. The moon shadow stretches out the black shadow of the sharp claws, and the crisis hook is buried deep and points directly to the climax palace. The night is like ink pouring over the campus, the club hall is brightly lit with golden light and the eyes are buzzing. The document signing place is pretending to be the backstage of the cultural festival. Shen Qingqing's phantom silver hair emerges from the white dress and the fragrance of flowers is sweet to her nose. Her silver eyes are watery and her cheeks are red and flushed. Her voice is soft and trembling, Yi Chen. Princess. The reality is hidden in person, the gold chain scroll shield amplification file palace is locked, the information about the victory of the Demon King's nest is continued, Li Xiu's remnants of the dwarf orcs sneak into the roaring group to gather, the passage is blown up and the 1-hour countdown, our team's tacit understanding reverses the embrace of the 2 worlds. The gentle pulsation of the blue light vortex pulls the skin heat. In the waves, Chu Tian's blue-robed entity appeared in mist wrapped in slimy and cold skin. The crystal staff buzzed and turned, and the needle shadow was locked in the air. He smiled with a black belly and patted his shoulders with excitement, brother. Cultural festival information. Lin Yuyan made a straight shot. Li Xiu pretended to be a remnant of dwarf orcs to follow the group and roared. The edge of the campus was locked, and the fog net hid the auxiliary. The shadow fist linkage is perfect, and the document ritual guardian easily crushes Yongzhan and spurts blood. Lin Yuyan's real body ponytail swept her cheeks and hid in the dark corners, and the cell phone recording buzzed. Fatty Yu Dang vomited and added, idiot. I bravely patrolled the crisis in the backstage of the club, and attacked directly after the fireworks welfare, and the hot hug continues. Suddenly the iron door creaked, black mist billowed, and the stench of sulfur erupted like a volcano. The remnants of the dwarf orcs roared and their minions flashed with blood and swished through the air. Li Xiu's tall and thin figure twisted into an assassin's form and erupted. The broken black robe and green crystal armor pulsed and flashed, and the heat wave of tobacco magic rolled in. His claws stretched and stretched, his hoarse smile turned mad in despair. Chen, the dog hero. The cultural festival is overwhelming, the demon king's nest is heartbreaking, the information spurts blood like a nightmare, the passage blows up the document ceremony, the demon king comes in person to fight the slavery of the two worlds forever, the remnant party shouts at the tobacco network to lock you down team, kneel down and spurt out blood. Regret will turn into ashes. The dwarf orcs roared, their front paws were torn by the wind, and the hot and bloody air filled the air. The students in the surrounding club widened their eyes, trembled and screamed. Monsters roared. Li Xiu's assassin transformed into a green crystal armor, and the black mist topped the passage and collapsed, with a premonition of despair. Soft diapers. Shen Qingqing's golden chain scroll unfolded the shield, and the golden light was hot and buzzing in the sky. Chu Tian's crystal staff waved the fog net and the ground was sticky. Lin Yuyan clenched her pink fists and her almond-shaped eyes were hot, pretend class bully to spurt blood. The recording is irrefutable and broadcast to the whole school. I am brave and the intelligence is direct. Chen's silver-black battle armor with hidden ring is fully activated, and the invisible fist wind penetrates the body with a heat wave. His inner desire first turns to ecstasy, ridicule, despair and stepping on the soles of his feet. The trump card team is so happy. He roared as the shadowless figure disappeared into the air, and the dwarf orcs roared and swarmed with blood-eyed eyes. They swung their claws wildly in the air, and the hot wind hit their faces and trembled. They roared, the shadowless hero's mist net wrapped in a golden shield is scalding to the eyes. The boss's green crystal armor is in chaos, and our hearts are bursting with admiration, but our legs are weak. Li Xiu's green eyes narrowed in panic, and his grin broke. He threw out the tobacco net and locked his throat, sticky and hot like glue, and he was invisible. The far end of the fist hit the chest and abdomen with a series of bangs, and the green crystal armor cracked and shattered, spraying blood and sweet mist. The Chu Tian crystal needle stabbed in the air and assisted the remote-controlled mist to wrap the legs and cramp the ground. Shen Qingqing's golden chain increased the heat and entered the body, doubling the energy. Lin Yuyan's mobile phone live broadcast buzzed and the whole school was shocked, crushed the club monster. Chen's magic shadowless fist, class bully Li Xiu fled and spurted blood. The rock wall of the battlefield hall collapsed, there was a loud noise, dust flew up, and iron filings clinked to the ground. Green crystal fragments rained down and smoked. Li Xiu was seriously injured and knelt down. His black robe was torn and his green eyes were twitching in despair and panic. His sharp claws were waving wildly, tearing at the air and tearing away the helpless hot wind. His miserable howling voice was shaking like glass. Li Qingqing regretted and roared, impossible. The team attacked the peak of tacit understanding, the weak points of all intelligence locks were pierced, and the heartbreaking plan of Yongzhan was finished with blood. The Demon King personally came to the passage to blow up the small counterattack, and I, the assassin commander, knelt down and trembled in regret. The passage was all you will be buried with me when your face collapses. The remnants of the dwarf orcs roared and pushed each other and collapsed, stomping their claws and feet and fleeing away. The students from the club watched with their eyes wide open, gasped, worshipped and screamed, Chen is a hero with shadowless power. The golden mist attacks the assassin and defeats the green crystal. The passage is dangerous. The machine is reversed and the legs are soft and the king is worshipped. The rumors in the school are turned into dust and the eternal war conspiracy is turned into dust. Chu Tian, trembling in blue robes, patted his shoulders with excitement, brothers were crushed perfectly. The remaining party was completely wiped out and the intelligence was relocked. Li Xiu knelt down in despair and regretted spewing blood. The mist net continued to pursue the final ceremony. Shen Qingqing's pure white dress sticks to Yi Chen's arm, the hot golden light lingers on her veins, and the fragrance of flowers and honey lingers in her nose like an electric shock. Her silver eyes are misty and hot, staring at her blushing cheeks with affection. Yi Chen's power. The assassin's route documents the palace is stable, the passage is blown up and the golden chain shield is always there, the two worlds' guardian teams embrace, my princess's heart I love you so much that I will never die. Lin Yuyan's ponytail flew forward and she punched her chest with soft fists. Her almond-shaped eyes worshipped and her legs softened. The scent of citrus hit her face, the idiot hero wins. The club broadcasts the whole school's worship, and the brave information benefits increase to bite you and hug you hot. Yi Chen's inner emotions are released to a climax and the volcano erupts, it's so exciting. The villain fell to his knees and trembled in despair and regret, and the crowd worshipped him with soft diapers on his legs. The team's tacit understanding of the double world balance was at its sweetest peak. The fireworks of the cultural festival roared into the sky, gold and red exploded, and the heat wave hit her face. The fragments in the night sky were like a shower of stars, burning her eyes and buzzing. The crowds at the stalls were screaming and crowded. Lin Yuyan pulled Yi Chen into a dark corner and swept her ponytail across her cheeks. Victory at the pinnacle of hero worship, from being stoned in the streets to being invisible in the devil's nest. Lin Yuyan, bravely share the sweet daily life and will never let go, I love you, embrace the welfare hot death sequel and insist on it. Yi Chen's red face is pulled into the warm and undulating tangerine honey net, and his heart is warm. Qingmei's confession hints at the climax, the two heroines are so sweet, exposing the crisis and resolving the balance of the two worlds. The stall business is booming, Yi Chen's curve ball game is worshipped by the whole school, the shadow of the ball swishes through the air, the hot wind hits the face, and the target jingles. Passers-by scream and worship the curve ball, magic curve ball. Yi Chen is the king of the club. The street rumor hero transforms, the class bully Li Xiu's green eyes shrink and give up. State. Li Xiu turned around with a grin and the crowd fled. The aftertaste of tobacco lingered, and he whispered in despair, his heart was severely injured and cramping, the ceremony was all locked up, but the shadow of the team's attack was overwhelming. The fireworks of the cultural festival are about to be lit, sweet confession of benefits. I will fight back forever. The golden and red fragments of fireworks poured into the night sky like lava rain, the heat wave burned the face, buzzed the ears, and shook the heart. The sea of black mist billowed in the dark corners of the campus club hall, and the smell of sulfur went straight into the nose, making you choke and make you want to vomit. The blue light vortex swirled wildly and tore the air, crackling and tugging at the skin, like 1,000 needles piercing the bone. Li Xiu's black figure twisted and knelt up, his green eyes flashed with a sinister smile and his bloodshot pulse was beating wildly. His black robe tore through the tobacco magic, leaving a sticky heat wave. He raised his sharp claws to summon and his roar was as hoarse as rust scraping bones, the devil is here in person. The passage is blowing up and the document ceremony is wiped out. The eternal war reinforcements are tearing the two worlds apart. Your team is kneeling sweetly. Buried with blood spurting out from the ground. The remnants of the dwarf orcs roared in the distance and the minions gathered in blood. The ground hummed and shook like a heart twitching. The club students watched with round eyes and soft diapers and screamed. The passage collapsed and the black fog swallowed the sky. Assassin Li Xiu summoned the monster legion. The hero Yi Chen club hall is about to end in the abyss of despair. Lin Yuyan flailed her ponytail, her apricot eyes misted with panic, her pink fists trembled and she clenched Yi Chen's arm warmly, idiot. The devil is coming in person to the top of the black mist, what should we do if all our intelligence is locked up? Embrace welfare turns gray, heartbeat stops. Shen Qingqing's white dress is close to her body, and the fragrance of flowers trembles. Her silver eyes stare desperately at the gold chain scroll, which buzzes dimly, Yi Chen. The phantom of the File Palace is locked and blown up, and the princess's shield is powerless and the passage is forever enslaved by the two realms. Chu Tian's blue robe and mist-wrapped crystal staff shook his belly, his face was pale, and his shoulders were sticky. Brother. The bomb trap is locked by the green crystal pulse intelligence, and Li Xiu's plan to raid the everlasting war reinforcements is completely ruined. Yi Chen's silver-black battle armor concealed the ring with restrained fists and cracked white knots, and his inner monologue was about to rise but then suppressed and turned wildly. Li Xiu got up on his knees and stepped on the soles of his feet in ridicule and despair. The black mist sea passage collapsed and the devil himself came and pressed the hook on the whole school's legs and soft diapers. The team panicked and trembled and the voice broke. I outsmarted everyone and made a great reversal. He roared, the shadowless figure disappeared in the fog, and a hot wind rushed out. The invisible fist locked on Li Xiu's green eyes from far away, slamming his chest and abdomen with a thumping sound. The green crystal fragments cracked and shattered, and the blood mist sprayed with a sweet and pungent smell. Li Xiu howled miserably, knelt down, twitched, and swung his claws wildly, tearing at the air. Shadowless divine fist. The team's tacit understanding of intelligence had exploded, and the plan of eternal war was wiped out, and you were buried in the heroic tunnel. The surrounding club students gasped and pointed with wide eyes, trembling. Yi Chen, the ghost of Kirigakure, suppressed the assassin. The sea of black mist was powerless and the green eyes fell to their knees in panic. The hero's power was reversed and he worshipped the king with weak legs. Chu Tian's crystal staff waved the fog net to cover the ground, and the needle shadow locked the sky to control the pulsation of the green crystal bomb. He laughed with a black belly and trembled with excitement. Brothers, perfect linkage. The bomb trap was broken, the fog needle pierced the green veins, and the buzzing stopped, and the channel was stabilized. The information was renewed and the reinforcements were locked forever. Shen Qingqing's golden chain scroll rekindled the golden light, hot air, hot shield expansion, and wrapped the file. The phantom palace buzzed steadily, and the fragrance of flowers and honey hit her face. Her silver eyes turned to mist and stared at Yi Chen fierily. The divine power attacked. The file shield gold chain is eternal, and the princess's affectionate and passionate love for you is immortal and protected by the two realms. Lin Yuyan's mobile phone buzzed in the dark corner, and the recording of Fat Boy's remnants was broadcast live to the whole school. Her voice was arrogant and trembling. Disguised class bully Li Xiu's green crystal bomb intelligence spurts blood. The club's live broadcast hero Yi Chen is invisible in the fog, and the channel crisis is reversed. I will share the burden and never let go. The light and shadow on the screen flashed, and the whole school club group hummed and screamed in admiration. The crowd's heat wave surged, and the sweet aroma of marshmallows mixed with the embers of fireworks stung their nostrils. The blue light whirlpool stopped suddenly and the humming became low and gentle. The stench of black mist dissipated and the sulfur smell faded away. The breeze blew on the face, and the stable period of the channel came, and the underground vibrations calmed down like the heartbeat returning to its original position. Li Xiu's dark shadow twisted and his green eyes narrowed in despair and he knelt down in despair. The magic power of the black robe tobacco was gone. He roared in a broken voice and trembled with regret. Impossible, outsmart the trap and crack all the locks. The call for eternal war reinforcements interrupts the channel to stabilize the small victory and spurts blood. The heartbreaking information of my assassin commander is in vain. But the demon king comes in person and the army is about to be torn apart. The roaring group of dwarf orcs pushed each other and collapsed, stomping away with claws and feet, bleeding and dying. Movie, club students gathered around to worship and scream with weak legs. Yi Chen's team is under attack. Li Xiu knelt down to try to escape the stable period of the green crystal bomb shattering the channel, and the whole school worshipped him at the peak of his reputation as a cultural festival hero. Yi Chen felt so happy in his heart that a volcano erupted and his depression was released. A small victory easily outsmarted the soles of his feet. The villain knelt down in despair and trembled with a broken voice, and his fame, status, treasures and information were all harvested and the balance between the two realms was sweet and overwhelming. The afterglow of the night faded, and the fragments of the cultural festival fireworks fell to the ground, sizzling and burning. The club hall was brightly lit with golden light, and the students' faces were flushed and buzzing with excitement. Chen hides in his ordinary school uniform in his silver and black armor, wipes the sweat from his forehead and speaks briskly in his inner monologue. The channel is stable during the period, the file shield is permanent, Li Xiu kneels down and sprays blood, the intelligence is locked, the Qingmei princess double embraces the welfare climax, the aftermath of the high school daily hero's reputation explodes, and the crisis is exposed and the soles of his feet are slippery. Lin Yuyan's ponytail bounced forward, her pink fists lightly beat her shoulders, soft and warm, her almond-shaped eyes worshipped with water mist and flushed on her cheeks, and the citrus fragrance was as tangy as electric honey. The idiot hero outsmarted her. The whole school worshipped her through a mobile live broadcast with weak legs, fireworks and hugs to express her love, and the sequel is hot and determined. Brave information, remote messaging, welfare plus code will always be with you. She leaned close to her pink lips and slightly curled up, her hot breath was sweet, and she pulled her arms into her arms to feel the heat and her heart beat wildly. Shen Qingqing's phantom silver hair appeared, the fragrance of white skirt and flowers entwined with a gentle and dependent gaze. Chen. The aftermath of Xiaoxing's palace is stable, the princess's gold chain shield remains hot in reality, the golden light lingers in my veins, and I love you with deep affection and undying love. The mist in Chu Tian's blue robe faded away. He patted his shoulders and smiled with a black belly. Brothers are perfect. Li Xiu's green crystal bomb intelligence has been fully copied and the green eye vein diagram has been locked. The mist net continues to pursue the decisive battle and the exciting plan has been upgraded. The reputation and status of the cultural festival will be doubled, and the treasure green crystal fragments will increase the shadowless fist. The golden arrows pierced the campus iron fence at dawn, and the cultural festival climaxed during the day with a heat wave hitting our faces. The colorful flags and firecrackers from the booths were crackling and deafening, the sweet powder of marshmallows was flying and the sticky skewers were mixed with oil and smoke. The students screamed and laughed, and the tide surged and they worshipped and whispered. Chen's club's curveball skill was the invisible hero last night. Li Xiu's class bully, the green-eyed assassin, knelt down and sprayed blood live. Channel rumors the conspiracy of Yongzhan was turned into ashes, and the whole school's king status was at the peak of admiration. The curve-ball game with posters piled up behind Chen's booth continued to explode, the shadow of the ball whizzed through the air, the hot wind hit the target, and the jingling sound was heard. The passers-by girls screamed and trembled with pink fists. The curve-ball is amazing. The hero Chen suppressed the class bully every day at the cultural festival, and the black fog in the club hall turned around last night to worship the diapers. Please sign for benefits and hugs thighs. The boy gasped with wide eyes and clenched his fists. Invincible. The green crystal bomb cracked all the intelligence locks. Li Xiu's transfer student fled with green eyes and panic. Chen's reputation was soaring, and he was the leader of the club. Lin Yuyan, wearing a pink apron with a hot curve around her waist, served a dish of marshmallow pink and sticky fingers. Last night's outsmarting and romantic interaction continues. Qingmei Intelligence's live broadcast is at its bravest, embracing the welfare fireworks and heartbeats. I love you and insist on it. Chen blushed and complained sweetly in his heart. Qingmei's arrogance has grown up to be extremely loyal, the cultural festival's reputation and status have doubled, and the hidden ring of the green crystal fragment has doubled its hotness and strength, the climax of the daily refreshing feeling of the hero of the two worlds. Suddenly, the fat boy Yu Dang was escorted by club students. The recording on his cell phone buzzed. Li Xiu's green eyes spat out all the information. The dwarf orcs roared at the group's hidden map. The green crystal vein diagram spread out on the table and pulsated. His trembling voice broke and he knelt down and kowtowed. Hero, spare your life. Li Xiu, assassin leader. After receiving the intelligence, the Yongzhan Plan channel blew up the small bureau. The Yongzhan Demon King came to the army in person, and the green crystal fragments were presented to worship. The passers-by around opened their eyes and screamed in admiration. the information is all locked. Yi Chen's team crushed the remaining party and spewed blood, and the cultural festival hero status. The whole school salutes you with both treasures. Chu Tian wooing loomed with a dark belly and whispered hotly in his ears, "Brothers, the green crystal fragments have been analyzed, the crystal needle assisted the amplification of the mist net upgrade, and the shadowless fist has a perfect tacit understanding of the final battle." Shen Qingqing's phantom flower fragrance spreads into her silver eyes. "Love mist, the palace of files is stable, the princess's feelings are deepening and the passion is bursting. I love you and protect the two worlds and embrace forever." Yi Chen holds the green crystal fragments in his fists and pulses hotly into his body. The silver-black armor's hidden ring buzzes and upgrades, and his inner emotions are released with a sense of accomplishment. It's so exciting. The reputation is worshipped by the whole school, the status of the club's king treasure increases, the trivial matters are locked up and dealt with, the team complains about the sweet emotion and balances the two realms. The business of the cultural festival stalls was booming, Yi Chen's arc-ball series of sharp shots were ringing loudly, and the girls gathered around and waved their pink fists, screaming and blushing, "Hero's signature hug." The shadowless divine power green crystal was shattered last night, the romantic welfare of the cultural festival, please share a piece of it with your childhood sweetheart Lin Yuyan. Lin Yuyan swept her ponytail across her cheeks, punched her back with her pink fist, and scolded hot, "Don't let it go, you idiot. Qingmei's exclusive embrace is so hot, and the intelligence will bravely continue to pursue the decisive battle. I'll send a message remotely to confirm it." Suddenly, there was a low hum in the ground, like an insect waking up, and Li Xiu's black figure was distorted and his green eyes flashed at the edge of the campus in the distance. Summoning with a ferocious smile, reinforcements from another world, the black mist door cracked open, minions roared with blood, and the stench of sulfur gathered into his nostrils. He roared hoarsely and turned mad in despair. The army of the eternal war demon king tore the passage. The identity of the hero was completely exposed in the live broadcast, and the clown of the cultural festival knelt down and spurted blood and flew into ashes. Club study whispers turned to panic and glares, reinforcements are summoned from the black mist gate. Yi Chen's hero was exposed to the peak of the crisis, and the whole school's admiration turned to shock and his legs weakened. Yi Chen's inner game burned with fists and fists, the hook was buried deep and he was gaining momentum for the decisive battle, and his identity was exposed to the top. I was so happy that I turned everything around. The ground hummed like all the insects waking up, shock waves rippled through the cracks in the campus lawn, the smell of sulfur mixed with blood and sweetness penetrated the nose and made people feel stomach churning. The colorful flags at the cultural festival stalls suddenly stopped laughing and screamed, and the marshmallow powder sticky ground heat wave transpiration distorted the air. The iron fence at the edge of Li Xiu's black shadow campus twisted and stretched, his green eyes burst with bloodshot eyes and his ferocious smile flashed like a poisonous snake spitting out a message. The magic power of the black robe's tobacco rekindled its pulse. He raised his sharp claws and tore through the air with his hoarse, rust-scratching roar that echoed throughout the school. The Demon King's eternal war army is coming. Hero Yi Chen Clown's identity was completely exposed during the live broadcast, and the passage was torn apart by the black mist swallowing sky cultural festival. The ashes spewed out blood, and your team knelt down sweetly, their hearts shattered and buried in eternal servitude. The black mist door cracked open with a loud bang like thunder, and the dwarf orcs roared and the minions gathered together with blood and light to rush out of the sulfur heat. The waves hit the face, and the giant shadow of Warcraft roared with bone thorns and shook the ground. The dust flew up. The passers-by students stared with their eyes wide and their legs were in soft diapers. They screamed and collapsed. Black Mist Gate Demon King's reinforcements. Li Xiu's assassin counterattacked and summoned the monster army. Hero Yi Chen exposed the club king and turned into a clown. The whole school panicked. The abyss of despair turned from worship to fear. The girl's pink fists trembled and she held her head and cried, while the boy squeezed his fists and gasped, his face pale. The war between the two realms will forever collapse. The green-eyed assassin commander smiled ferociously, and the heat wave of the cultural festival turned into a sea of blood, and the hero knelt in his pants after finishing it. Lin Yuyan's pink apron was sticky with sweat, her curves were hot, her ponytail was swung around, her almond-shaped eyes were filled with panic, her pink fists clenched Yi Chen's arms, her arms were trembling, her arrogant voice broke, "Idiot." The army of demon kings from the Black Mist Gate tore the campus apart, and their identity was exposed in a live broadcast. The whole school was shocked. We embraced welfare and turned gray. Our hearts skipped a beat. How to break the shutdown information. Qingmei's bravery can't stand the weakness of the legs. Shen Qingqing's phantom white dress is fragrant and trembling, her silver eyes are desperate and the gold chain scroll is buzzing and pulsing, Yi Chen. The phantom of the File Palace is locked and reinforced by the black mist, and the princess's shield is powerless and the passage is forever enslaved. Passionate and spurting blood. Chu Tian's blue robe, wrapped in mist, shook the crystal staff, his belly was black, his face was livid, he slapped his shoulders, and roared, "Brother!" Li Xiu, with a ferocious smile in his green eyes, summoned the Eternal War Army to lock down the whole chaos, and the Mist Network's auxiliary upgrade was powerless. The plan to suppress the Black Mist Sea failed and the cultural festival was over. The whole school club students' whispers turned into a wave of collapse, the crackling of firecrackers stopped, hot dogs and oily smoke mixed with blood and pungent smell, the crowd pushed and stampeded and screamed, "Heroic clown." Li Xiu counterattacked the devil and came to the black mist swallowing the campus in person. Yi Chen's curveball skill turned into a joke and his fame turned into ashes and soft worship turned into despair. After Yi Chen's stall, the arc ball's whooshing residual sound abruptly stopped, his fist clenched the green crystal fragments, hot and spicy pulsing into his body, the silver-black battle armor's hidden ring buzzing as if about to explode. In his heart, the monologue surged wildly like a suppressed volcano, Dog Day Li Xiu with green eyes grinning maliciously, black fog gate tearing open the campus and pressing down, the whole school with soft legs and urine pants mocking the clown identity. Exposed, hooks deeply buried, team panic voices shattering in despair underfoot, old man, green crystal amplification with shadowless fist ultimate full open, outsmarting and exploding refreshingly to reverse the great battle. He let out a low roar, his form vanishing into mist like a ghost, darting out with hot wind rushing at the face, the silver-black battle armor appearing with double chi energy, the hidden ring buzzing and locking onto the black fog gate, the invisible fist wind wildly bombarded Li Xiu from afar, thud-thud dull strikes on his chest and abdomen, the green crystal residual armor cracking again with blood mist spraying out. Hot and sticky, Li Xiu howled in agony, kneeling and convulsing, his claws wildly swinging and tearing the air powerlessly in distortion, shadowless god fist ultimate amplification. Team 3 Realms pincer attack intelligence stabbed and exploded, heart spicy pain green eyes shattered, Eternal War Army turned to ashes, you dog hero channel stabilized, accompanying burial live stream clown. The dwarf beastmen roared and pushed each other, claws and teeth in bloody chaos, the beast shadows bone spikes cracking and breaking, surrounding students inhaled sharply, widened their eyes, trembled, pointed, screamed in worship turning explosive, Yi Chen hero transformed into silver-black battle armor, mist hidden like a ghost crushing all. Black fog gate powerless, green eyes and panic kneeling, divine might reversing the whole school worship, soft legs and urine pants, the king returns. Chu Tian waved his crystal staff, the mist net spreading across the sky, sticky rock sizzling, needle shadows locking the air and remotely controlling the black fog gates pulsing. He laughed with an abdominal black tone, voice trembling in excitement bursting out, roaring, "Brothers perfect linkage ultimate." Mist net crystal needle auxiliary green crystal upgrade stabbing and exploding the aid army, black fog buzzing halted, Eternal War Army cowardly roaring, channel eternally stable great battle exploding refreshingly. The mist needles rained down whooshing, piercing through the dwarf beastman's flesh and exploding with cracking sounds, sulfur stench fading into a gentle breeze, the beast shadow's low roars turned to wails, bone spikes shattering with echoes, the ground shaking waves subsiding. Lin Yuyan's almond eyes fiery hot, red blush crawling on her cheeks, ponytail bouncing, phone buzzing with remote messages from Fatty's remnants broadcast to the whole school, her pink fists waving in proud and hot breath rushing at the face, dummy hero 3 realms pincer attack. Childhood sweetheart intelligence live stream destroying Li Xiu's rear aid, green crystal vein map locked dead, school clubs whole school worship hugging welfare hot and spicy biting firmly never letting go, bravely at the peak. The screen's light and shadows flashed, exposing Fatty's remnants map, dwarf beastmen hiding spots cracking and pulsing collapsing, Li Xiu's rear aid green crystal bombs buzzing remotely self-exploding powerlessly, smoke dust scattering everywhere, whole school clubs buzzing in whispers turning to worship screams, hot waves surging, Lin Yuyan childhood sweetheart divine aid. Intelligence live stream remnants spraying blood, rear aid turned to ashes, Chen hero pincer attack demon king army cowardly fleeing, whole school bowing in worship with soft legs. Shen Qingqing's phantom white skirt expanded, flower fragrance sweet and rushing at the face, silver eyes misty turning fiery hot, the golden chain scroll reignited with golden light scorching the air, hot protective shield wrapping the document hall buzzing eternally solid, her warm and soft voice trembling with deep emotion, gazing at Chen, divine might ultimate pincer attack. Document signing princess hosting, golden chain eternally locking 2 realms peace, hot intent bursting, love you undying, hugging with deep emotion guard. Golden light surged like tides, blue light vortex wildly spinning with gentle pulsing, the otherworld hall's phantom reappeared, magnificent arches buzzing resounding through the campus, 2 realms channel permanently stabilized, underground shaking returning to zero like an eternal heartbeat. Chen's shadowless fist chi energy doubled, hidden ring buzzing locking onto Li Xiu's black shadow, his ghostly form with hot wind tearing and rushing close, one fist thud piercing through the green eyes, blood mist spraying out with fishy sweetness stinging the nose, Li Xiu twisted, kneeling and convulsing, black robe completely shattered, tobacco magic power turning to ashes, his green eyes despairingly shrinking, voice shattering in regret trembling low roar, impossible. Spy's full appearance exposed, eternal war plan turned to ashes, demon king personally arriving army interrupted, channel eternally stable, old man assassin leader heart shattered, intelligence spraying blood. 2 realms peace hero victorious, spraying blood and turning to ashes. Surrounding dwarf beastmen roared and pushed each other in collapse, claws and feet stomping chaotically and fleeing far, bloody shadows remaining, school club students surrounding and bowing in worship, soft legs screaming in worship bursting, each an ultimate shadowless fist piercing the assassin. Li Xiu green eyes shattered, spies exposed, black fog gate collapsing, channel eternally stable, cultural festival hero myth whole school worship urine pants king forever. The whole school is in a heat wave and the colorful flag hunt is restarted. Firecrackers are cracking and deafening. The sweet powder of marshmallows is flying. Sticky skewers and oil smoke are mixed with the sweet and refreshing fragrance of flowers. The students are screaming and laughing. The tide is surging in worship and whispers, the passage permanently stabilizes the peace between the 2 worlds. Chen's attack from 3 realms reveals that Li Xiu's spy commanded all the green crystals to pieces. The king of the club is at the peak of his reputation and is worshipped forever. Legs are weak. Chen wears his ordinary school uniform and wipes the sweat from his forehead. His inner monologue is brisk and the feeling of volcanic eruption is erupting, the decisive battle outsmarts the soles of his feet, the villain kneels in despair, his green eyes shatter, his voice shatters, the information is fully locked, the reputation, status, treasure channel is always stable and double harvest, the team sweetly embraces the climax, the hero's daily balance is released, and the growth explodes. Lin Yuyan's ponytail bounced forward, her pink fists lightly pounded her shoulders, soft hot almond eyes, worshipping water mist, blushing, bursting cheeks, citrus fragrance, rich and tangy electric honey, the idiot hero wins the ultimate. Qingmei Intelligence Live broadcast bravely shares the whole school's worship, fireworks hugs, confession, hot sequel, determined to always follow the heartbeat, love you, exclusive benefits. She leaned close to her pink lips, slightly curled up, and breathed sweetly, pulling her arms into her arms, warm and rolling, close to her chest, and her heartbeat synchronized with chaos. Shen Qingqing's phantom silver hair emerges, the white skirt is entwined with the fragrance of flowers, snuggling up to the other side and gazing affectionately. Yi Chen, the document is signed, the princess of peace between the two worlds, the gold chain is eternal, the reality remains, the hot embrace, the love for you, the affectionate and undying protection of the double life. The two beauties, hot cotton, pinched Yi Chen's red face, and her heart turned sweet. The tender and arrogant Princess Qingmei embraced the welfare climax, the emotional deepening peak without regrets. The mist in Chu Tian's blue robe faded away, and he slapped his shoulders with a hot belly and smiled excitedly. Brothers, it's a perfect ending. Li Xiu's spy's complete picture of the green crystal vein map, intelligence, eternal locking fog network, crystal needle assist, upgrade of the shadowless fist, the cultural festival, fame and status, the sweet victory of the heroes of the two worlds, the aftermath plan is complete. Zai Yudong knelt down and kowtowed, recording on his cell phone that he was spitting out the green crystal fragments of the dwarf orc map and offering them. The passing girls screamed and trembled and waved their pink fists, hero signature hug. The ultimate pincer spy spews blood for peace between the two worlds, a cultural festival is a romantic benefit, and the Qingmei princess is hugged and worshipped in diapers. The boys stared wide-eyed and fell. Taking air conditioning, he clenched his fists, the myth of invincibility. The tunnel is forever stable. Li Xiu flies away to become the king of the whole school. Yi Chen's growth in dual life is at its peak. The cultural festival booth's arc ball whizzed and the sharp shot jingled, the business was booming and the heat wave was rolling. Yi Chen held the fragments of green crystal in his fist, and the residual heat pulsed into his body and his energy was permanently hidden. The ring buzzes, the inner emotions are released, and the sense of achievement bursts into growth like a phoenix rising from the ashes. An ordinary high school student becomes a hero of two realms, the reputation is worshipped by the whole school as the eternal king of the social club, trivial matters are dealt with, the team's emotional peak is reached, the passage is stable and peaceful, a sweet embrace is signed, and the aftermath is climaxed with no suspense and satisfaction. As night falls, the golden and red fragments of fireworks pour into the night sky. The heat wave burns the face, buzzes, and the ears tremble. The campus club hall is brightly lit with golden light, reflecting the flushed faces of the students, buzzing with excitement. The blue light vortex gently pulses, and the black mist is forever dispersed. The sulphurous stench turns into the breeze. Behind Yi Chen's booth, there were posters piled up in the arcade game. Passers-by gathered around and screamed, "Guardian of the Two Realms." Yi Chen is a hero who has a perfect balance in daily life. His childhood sweetheart Lin Yuyan is an intelligence helper and Princess Shen Qingqing is always with her. Chu Tian brothers have a tacit understanding at the top of the family. Celebrate. Lin Yuyan untied her pink apron and swept her sexy ponytail across her cheeks. She hit her back with her arrogant pink fist and whispered hotly, "Idiot, you will have a sweet double life from now on." The high school daily hero night continues, Qingmei insists on embracing the welfare and dying. The intelligence is brave and will never be released. Shen Qingqing appeared in a white dress and the fragrance of flowers entwined her eyes with hot mist. Her warm and soft palms covered Yi Chen's chest and pulsed in sync, peace between the two worlds, my hero. Princess protects you affectionately. I will love you passionately every night. Sweet meeting in the dream passage. Chu Tian's black belly blinked and the fog shadow disappeared and whispered, "Brothers have a great ending." All the green crystal treasures have been collected and the shadowless fist mist net has been upgraded forever, and the remaining party's intelligence has locked up Li Xiu and turned into ashes. The legend of the daily heroes of Wuyo High School continues. Yi Chen blushed and complained briskly in his heart, expressing his ultimate release, full marks for growth. From the unexpected dream passage to the ultimate decisive battle, outsmarting and reversing the villain's despair, the team's sweet emotions bursting with fame, status, treasure passage, and peace, and the ordinary high school student balancing the hero's dual life to a climax without regrets, readers feel the eruption of a volcano forever. During the heat wave of the whole school celebration, he walked with his two beauties under the fireworks, his bouncing ponytail and white skirt fluttered, the fragrance of flowers and citrus mixed with sweetness, his heart beat wildly and pulsed eternally, the golden and red fragments in the night sky of the cultural festival fell like rain of blessings, the two worlds will always be peaceful, and the daily sweetness of heroes is endless. Suddenly, there was a huge buzz in the ground and a huge earthquake, like 1,000 insects gnawing at the brain. The blue light swirled wildly, tearing at the skin and causing stinging pain. The passage completely collapsed. The sea of black mist was churning and the stench of sulfur erupted. Li Xiu's black shadow twisted his green eyes and flashed a ferocious smile. He finally attacked, the demon king of eternal war is here. The document ceremony blew up both worlds and the dog hero knelt down to be buried. The crisis hook was buried deep in the climax palace to gain momentum. Yi Chen's inner game burned with fists and fists, the final battle was full of excitement.